The most important stream of the day, cooking it up Sclimbo's way. Yo, what's up everyone? Happy afternoon, happy time zones. We're Sclimbing out. It's Thursday. Starbringer, thanks for the follow. Honey, thanks for the follow. And Amelia, thank you for the sub. Big love to everyone. Big love to everyone. How we doing? Damn, that's not China. Yeah, this is decidedly not China in the background here. Happy time zone, everyone. What's up, MC? What's up, Star? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first... Hey, Potato King on the YouTube side. What's up? Welcome to the first technically normal just chatting / fitness stream. I kind of like how things are going to go from now on, which I'm really excited. This is like my favorite stream generally of the week because I kind of get to do whatever I want. Like last week, don't get me wrong, we went through the full fitness presentation. We answered about 50 questions. Oh, speaking of questions, let me do this. Marshmallow, let me pin that bad boy. Pin that bad boy. How do I pin? How do I pin on this? That doesn't work. Hold on. Pinning it. Stream elements, pin the message until end of stream. There we go. Okay, Marshmallow's pinned there for any fitness questions. We got it. We did it. Gives you South America? You think it gives South America? I get there's a lot of elevation going on, but that's not where we are today. Hey, what's up, Poemi? All right, the winners today will be Europe because we are in beautiful Palmoli, Italy today. Welcome to Italy, everyone. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, it is Italy, Rosie. Good call. Let's get the prediction. Eventually, we'll get something that's not North America or Europe, I'm sure. It keeps happening. I don't know what to say. All right, outcome today is going to be Europe. Easy Europe, W. So we're going to get that in there. Bada boom, bada bing. For today. Australia one day. Yeah, there is an Australia / Oceania category. We're going to include pretty much all of the like islands in that as well, right? So a lot of the island nations will be in Oceania as well. So somebody got some big points. How do you travel around so fast? Honestly, I'm just really fast. I always travel back to home base every day, but for stream, you know, I like running to Italy every once in a while. Sometimes China, sometimes more North America. Hey, Snake Valor, what's going on? Where do you even source these photos? Honestly, Wikipedia, because they have the Commons license. So I get them all from Wikipedia. And if I can't find a wiki page for something, I'll get something close by that I can generally. Because that's still like, if you randomize a location, even if your exact city doesn't have a wiki photo, somewhere nearby will, and we're doing it based on geographical like region, so it's still correct, right? It's just a different city, but gambling is worth it. You got 2.8. Hey, well, a way to spend all your points now, because you might have noticed that we've added some things. Now, before you redeem anything, let me say words. We have added some new things to stream, as always. A very big update this week, because yesterday was my rest day, so I got to work for a while. Hey, Mint, thanks for the 5-stream streak, and thanks for all the streaks, everybody. I'm seeing those. I'm seeing those in my sidebar and smiling. So we've added model swaps, and for the first time ever, they're automated. So I've automated model swaps where, and this should work, theoretically, you can swap me to different models for 10 minutes each stream, basically. Only once per stream. You also can control my tank top and my hat. And those should just be on-off toggles. So basically, if you redeem it once, it'll go on. If someone redeems it again, it will take like the hat or the shirt off. But there is a cooldown, so people can't do it like back and forth like crazy, right? So once someone puts the hat on, it's on for I think 5 or 10 minutes before someone could theoretically disable it. So it shouldn't overlap. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is don't redeem the hat or the shirt when I also have a model swap, because I haven't figured out how to disable those yet. So they're still technically available when I have the other models with the model swaps, but the model swaps shouldn't overlap each other at the very least. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? Vomits cutely. Hey, Nuno, what's up? Sorry about that auto mod, by the way, that got you last time. I saw your Twitter post about that. That was so sad. Yeah, I'll just refund it if it happens, but try not to do it. How about that in the first place? But yeah, we're in Palmoli, Italy today, so Europe winners are winning. But how is everyone doing? What are we up to? How was your last couple days? I haven't seen you since Tuesday, and that's like 2 whole days. Feels like a long time, you know? Don't worry about it. I'm really good at triggering auto mod for fun. Well, there you go. Bingo. Why did Bingo Bongo? Wait, what? Why is Bingo Bongo triggering the auto mod? What is it? Oh, it worked! It worked! Let's go! Yeah! Thanks, Etu. Look, you can do it. I don't even have to do anything now. It does it automatically. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you can put the hogs. Whoa, there's my hat too. See, it works. Look at that. Now, theoretically, there should be like a 5-minute cooldown, and then the next time you do the redeem, it should take them off. I think. Hey, Corvoy, what's up? Welcome in. I think that's how that works. I'm hoping. Yomi helped me. Of course, Yomi helped me. I was like, Yomi, please, how does this work? Thanks for the 7-stream streak, Basili. How's it going? How's it going? And Sand, welcome. Welcome as well. Excellent hat. Yeah, it's my cool little hat. We're out and about and wanted to come pop in. Well, I appreciate it, Winter. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see everybody here. I hope everyone's having a good time. Today has felt like the first real day of winter for me. Sclimbo, what's for lunch? I mean, I just had some brickin' before stream, no joke. I had some brickin' with tostados, energy drink. I got my throat coat. So we're chilling. We're not in Rio. No, we're in Palmoli, Italy, because at the beginning of every stream, I'm in a different location. It's like a Sclimbo guesser, you know, like GeoGuessr kind of, but you've been hella sick lately, so it's nice to catch a Sclimbo comfy stream. Today's a good one to catch. So I've always liked having, you know, even when I was in prep as a little Sclimbo, I've always liked having a dedicated just chatting day, because as you know, I yap and stuff like that. But this really lets me kind of like, you know, pilot myself properly, not get distracted, talk to everyone, answer fitness questions. So you should note that the marshmallow is pinned in chat if you do have any fitness questions you want to put in, because we do that every Thursday as well. So we'll be doing just chatting, of course, but then past that, we'll be answering all the questions. We already have quite a few between last week and now, but feel free to get any more in, because that is what we're up to today once we actually hit the fitness segment. We're going to yap for a little bit first until we kind of run out of just chatting topics, then swap over. But Arzen, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Finally able to catch you live. Glad. Yeah, no, this is the new start time. I made a mistake on Tuesday. You might have noticed. I scheduled my going live tweet for 11:50 p.m. instead of a.m., which means the going live did not go out on Tuesday, which was unfortunate. Yeah, we fixed that though. It's all good. Deadly Kitten, thanks for the follow. So it should have gone out today on Twitter and on Discord. So we should be all good to go and stuff like that. But kind of a bad time for it to fail, considering it was only like the second day on the new stream schedule. But yeah, this is our normal going live time from now on, basically. Hey, what's up, Easy Anti-Cheat guy? Wait, are you Easy Anti-Cheat yourself? What? Huh? Back to work you go. Adios. Hey, Queen, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, and always feel free to leave that silent lurk. That helps a lot, especially with how Twitch is these days with lurkers. So interacting at all with the chat, whether it be through prediction or the silent lurk, helps a lot towards all of that. So we got a lot to talk about today. I have so many topics prepared for you. Just a little bit of a little teaser, right? We're not going to get into everything right away, but as a little teaser, we're going to be talking a lot about holiday diet tips today, because it is almost Thanksgiving and Christmas for those in the United States. So we're going to be talking a lot about how to diet in the holidays when it's extra hard, when food's kind of put in front of you all the time. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about a lot of tricks and hacks for like 0-calorie dressings, recipes, things like that kind of keep you full without spending too many calories when you're in a deep cut. And, you know, we can always talk about gain as well. But honestly, I find that people don't have that much of hard of a time gaining during the holidays if they're trying to, because like it's built around gaining weight. Like the holidays, if you're bulking, the holidays are just made for you. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit back and have food come to you and bulk. So if you do have any questions about that, though, I'm glad to answer, of course. I missed this earlier in the week. Why'd you move the stream back an hour? Janon, good question. Yeah, so we kind of noticed that accidentally Malfi and I put our stream start at the same exact time. And so we were like overlapping each other entirely for like, I think 2 out of 4 of our streams. And so we were like, well, Malfi can go an hour earlier and I can go an hour later. So why don't we just do that? So there's more of like an unbroken chain of SVA streams, because the idea is like, once, you know, some of the senpai are on hiatus right now for various reasons, but I think it means like, once everyone's back, there's kind of an unbroken chain on a lot of days of SVA streams, all the way from like 10 a.m. EST to like probably 9 p.m. or something like that, depending on how far people do things. So kind of just to space things out so people can watch both and they don't have to choose between, you know, one stream or the other, basically. So that's a good topic coming from cultures that go hard with the flavor and fat. Yeah. No, we have plenty of ways around it. So my deload week just so happens to be Christmas week. Wonder how that happened. Whoa, wow, how'd that happen? Are you also just coincidentally eating at maintenance during your deload week, Lava? Wow, that's crazy. How'd that happen? When Flork streams again? No, because we have some of the senpai are on hiatus right now. So just monopolize the free time of SVA superfans, kind of, right? We just, you know, we're in the same agency and we're in the same gen and we're both new. We didn't really want to overlap each other. We kind of even talked about it beforehand, like, this kind of sucks that we have to do this, but these are the times that work best for us. But once we got settled after the first week, we realized we both had like wiggle room 1 hour in advance or 1 hour afterwards. So there's kind of like a 2-hour gap. So we made that choice. We kind of talked about it and we're like, yeah, let's do it. Ready for Flork's Enoch shenanigans? Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know if anyone saw this, but do you give fitness advice to the other talents? Flork? Yes, totally. Absolutely. I don't know if anyone saw this, but this was kind of a surprise for us too. Flork yesterday, just kind of in chat out of nowhere, was like, I'm gonna make a server to have people direct investments like Enoch's in ancient China. And we were like, okay. And then he went and did it. So I'm not part of that. That's a Flork thing, but we do get updates. I'm just like, all right, sure. You're one of the Enochs? Oh wow, nice. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mr. Sclimbo? How you doing, man? I find it funny how by sheer coincidence, you always end up streaming after I'm done with my workout. Fortuitous timing, Matt. Fortuitous timing, brother. You heard of the Enochs but didn't have context? Yeah, basically, Flork had an insane idea. Eunuch. Sorry, you're right. Eunuch. It's Eunuch. I forgot. Flork had an insane idea where Flork was like, I'm going to fill a server full of people to direct an investment for me for 30 days, and I'm going to destroy one of them every day randomly and see what happens. There's no prize. It's just like, it's just a megalomaniac idea that he had, and so now he's like an ancient Chinese emperor, and he's doing that on the side. That's what he's doing with his free time for the next 30 days when he's not running SVA. I guess it's also partially for his comics, so he's kind of making a comic arc out of it, it sounds like. Fortuitous indeed, yeah. It's pronounced eunuch. No, eunuch. I nuck. We all nuck. But it's pretty cool. The Mr. Beast of VTubers. Wait, Flork or me? I don't know what that... How would I be the Mr. Beast of VTubers? What does that mean? You just get to say you were there. Yeah, I'm watching from the sidelines. I am not one of the royal advisors, unfortunately. The Flork snap. Yeah, yeah. I shake your hand and nod. But I had my yummy snacks today. I had, you know, a lot of good meals recently. A lot of fun meals. I did hit that Triscuits thing I talked about recently, which is pretty good. But Eunuch pilled in 2025. Let me take a little drink. It's gotten really cold out, everyone. Where I am, it kind of jumped to winter. We kind of skipped fall entirely. There was a lot of storms that came through, so it was like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and then like it finally started to cool down, and then a storm came through, blew all the leaves down, and now it's 20. So that's cool. That all happened in like 3 weeks. Hey, Winter Charm, thanks for the follow. So this morning, I went out on my bike. I went out on my Sclim bike for a little Sclim ride, and boy, was I not prepared. Boy, was I underdressed, because it was like 20 degrees out, and you know, when I'm riding and get going really fast, it's somewhere around like 20 miles per hour, and yeah, that I felt like my ears were going to fall off. Like I thought I was getting frostbite actively, so I need to get some warmer clothing on it. We've had a good couple inches of snow here in the land of Scots. I'm ready. I'm excited. Soon, snow soon. It was like 20 degrees a week or two ago, jumped to 50, 70, now it's back to 35. Oh, we're just all over the place. It's doing whatever it wants. Just a battle royale with Flork watching from an upper window. It was funny because he was trying to get like an art asset or something. It was just really funny to see like an out of context message from Flork, like, I need to become a Chinese emperor quick. Draw me like a Chinese emperor. Like, what? I love this company. Just got back from the gym, now making a smoked salmon sandwich. Yo, I can hit that right now. Ooh, don't get me hungry this early. I'm gonna mail you a beanie. Okay, so I bought a beanie, but it didn't fit with my helmet, and so I decided to go for the helmet because safety first over the beanie. I looked really dumb because the beanie made the helmet sit really high up on my head, and so I looked like I just had like an extra head on top of my head, and I was like, this looks stupid. I'm just gonna wear my helmet. Bad decision, by the way. I skipped my exercise classes last week because my hands were freezing. Didn't relish the idea of doing that again 2 hours later. Yeah, gotta get yourself some hand warmers in the gloves. That's an old ski trick, you know? Old skiing trick. Did you get more cold weather cycling gear? Long sleeve and leggings, they only go so far. Yeah, like I have a base layer that I put on, but I need like a face, like a neoprene cool face mask so I can look like Scorpion or Mortal Kombat or something. That could be pretty cool. That could be pretty cool. Draw me like one of your Chinese emperors, yeah. Pretty much. Sclimbo story time. Hey, Star, what's up? Yeah, we got a lot of stories. Gonna get you one of those coyote military beanies. They're thin but mad warm. Yeah. What kind of clothes do you wear when you cycle? Normal clothes or the full cycling gear? No, I don't wear cycling gear really because I don't cycle like professionally or even like actively. I do it as a transport thing. So I'm wearing my normal clothes. put it on your throne. I did actually put up some sweatpants on my throne, actually, now that you say that too, because I was like, I could use some sweatpants for the day. Honestly, it's getting really cold. Ugh. But hey, Winter Charm, 6 months at tier 1. Wow, thank you. Oh my gosh, you're here for a long time. Sounds good. Let's rock. I'll be glad to be of service for that period of time. But yeah, no, I'll wear like a ski base layer of long sleeve. I actually do something really funny because I only have tank tops. So I have a ski base layer that's long sleeve and then wear a tank top over it and then my hoodie. And then the same thing with the pants where it's like I have my ski base layer and then my joggers and nothing else basically. I don't actually like get that cold is a big thing. I don't need a lot of layers. Like usually if I just have 1 or 2 layers, no matter how cold it is, I'm like so fine. My body's a furnace. So I was one of those shorts Sclimbos when I was a kid. You know, who wears like shorts year round? That was me when I was a kid, so. Hot Sclimbo gray sweatpants routine. It is literally great. I literally put gray sweatpants on there. Velvet, it's literally gray sweatpants. I was like, well, I got to do it for the joke, right? I got to do it for the joke. I've been on the site so long, you know, good vibe when I see it. Well, thank you, Winter. Thank you so much. Account age. 12 years. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I don't think I got involved with Twitch until like 2017 or something like that. It's so close to my fit when I used to do landscaping. Yeah. My Slim dad does landscaping. He runs a little landscaping thing. I was the one moron who wore shorts to my exam yesterday when it was below freezing. I used to actually I liked shorts and tank tops so much. I used to do this thing where I'd wear like ski base layer pants and then shorts. So I was like, I don't know, look kind of cool, I thought. I just thought it looked cool. I don't feel right if I don't have my cycling shorts or clip-ins when cycling. I never liked clip-ins. I really never liked clip-ins. I'm not much of a cycler. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I used an e-bike. I'm not at full assist all the time or anything like that, but it's purely a transportation thing for me and a way to get some cardio. I'm not like hardcore biking or anything like that. I'm doing like 10, 11 to 15 miles a day during the weekdays, but it's not hardcore. Like, I'm not going full tilt. I'm keeping it in zone 2. I'm doing maybe like an average of like 15, 16 miles per hour. It's nothing crazy. So it's mostly like I wear my normal clothes, transportation. I mean, hey, what's up, Fluff? Mr. Sclimbo, I just got back from reformer Pilates. I feel like throwing up. How do I stop feeling this way? Take some anti-nausea. I guess sit down, get some hydration. If the room's spinning, get some food in you. You could feel nauseous from lack of food too. I don't know what your eating's looking like today, but be aware. It can be both overeating and undereating that makes you feel nauseous after exercise. I thought you were going 20 miles per hour with just manpower. I can. Absolutely. I do and I can. Just like not all the time. Like I do not have a 20 mile per hour pace on a bike like raw. Do not get me wrong. But like usually what'll happen is like I'll use my assist on my e-bike sometimes, but not that much and not that much of an assist. So I'm usually only putting out like 56 watts of assist usually, I find when I'm looking at my assist meter, when I'm maintaining about 15, 16 miles per hour. So I can do 20, but I'm not like, you know, maintaining 20 for 10 miles. Absolutely not. Not without mad assist. I'm not a big cyclist. I enjoy going out on my bike and going to the woods and stuff like that. You did do your first 100K ride this year. Wow. Yeah, I want to get better at it. One of my things is like, and this is a good thing for fitness in general, right? An idea for fitness in general is you always want to ease into things and you can always use things as stepping stones, right? So for me, I never liked biking. I liked walking everywhere. I wasn't much of a bike person, but getting an e-bike is a way. And this is also going to come into play later tonight, actually, when I'm on a stream talking about aging and exercise. E-bikes are a way for people to kind of like transition, I feel, between I hate bikes and they suck to actually being good at biking. Because over time, you can cut down the assist level until you're just raw biking and then you don't have to buy an e-bike anymore. You're like, oh, I'm just good at biking naturally. So it's like, it's a stepping stone, right? It's a stepping stone for a year or two. And then until you get enough like cycling skill that you can just do raw speed on a normal bike. So. You never learned how to ride a bike, but I can ride a manual scooter. Yeah, kick scooter. My dad, let's see. My dad taught me that going 5 or 6 miles above the speed limit is okay, but that seems subjective. I've never gotten in trouble. Hey, what's up, Vera? I've never gotten in trouble going like five miles above the speed limit personally. I've never had that problem. That's usually what I do when I'm like, you know, in a car, but how do you manage to ride a bike without getting a really sore butt? I don't. That's my trick. I just get a sore crotch all the time. But no, I love e-bikes. Big fan of those. Would highly recommend them. Because there's many different types of e-bikes too. There's cargo ones for transportation, but there's also like more streamlined ones for if you just want to get exercise. It's a really, like, people knock it, but a sore crotch, yeah. People knock it, but it's like a really good, like, interim thing. And you have to remember that you can always turn the assist off, and then it just becomes a harder bike, right? Because they're kind of generally heavier. So you can do a lot of training on an e-bike. Got a friend who can ride a bike for hours. It's crazy. Yeah, I think the furthest I've rode is like maybe 2 hours. I never really push it, but not that I couldn't, but I just haven't. The problem with those is that there are a lot of crashes thanks to people going fast. Yeah, well, there's a big problem with like e-bike regulations and like 13-year-olds getting e-bikes that technically go 40 miles per hour and just blasting down the sidewalk with no helmet and then dying. There's a lot of that, so... I heard bike in woods. Do you mountain bike or ride single track? No. I bike to the woods. Sorry, I don't do mountain biking. I would, though. Seems interesting. But also very scary at the same time, you know? Got a big, cushier bike seat? Yeah, just continuously get bigger bike seats. That would help. That would help. My cousin and I used to ride for 4 hours to the next city, get lunch, bike back. That's the thing, is like what I like about biking as transportation, because one of the hardest things is something I've talked about before, where in certain countries it's way harder to get exercise because things are built so much around cars. But sometimes a bike can extend your normal range to the point where you actually do have somewhere to go on a bike that you wouldn't make walking. So a good example being like, oh yeah, there are some grocery stores about 7-8 miles away from me. Now, if I walked that would take hours just to walk there and back. But if I go on a bike or something, I can get there in like 23, 25 minutes, get a little bit of cardio and also get a snack. So it's a justification to go outside. So I really like that sort of thing. It can extend the range to make things a little bit easier, you know? He wants to live stream riding across America. I would love to do a cyclothon, actually. That would be so cool. I want to ride a bike everywhere. People here be stealing too much. Well, okay, yeah, that's the worst thing about bikes in some areas, honestly, is like, and I do live in one of these areas where biking, there is biking infrastructure to some extent where I am, and it's actually really convenient. The danger is that I can't leave it anywhere because it will immediately get stolen. Like, I can bike to a train station that gives me access to like a lot of different things. That's actually a really like well-connected train station. But there's nowhere for me to put my bike that it won't get stolen, like 80% chance within 5 hours. So like I can't, so I don't get to bike there now. I can never take my bike to the train station, even though it is convenient. It is right there and I can get there very quickly. So that is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Too bad I live in giga-dense urban area. I have no place to store a bike. Yeah, only Salvation's rent, but they're so flimsy it feels dangerous. Yeah, I guess you could have like a really cheap bike that you don't really care about getting stolen, but always been a sidewalk biker. Use a bike lane on a 4-lane avenue. It made me feel like a target. Yeah, and people design, like urban design can get really dumb sometimes. There's a bike lane that got put in pretty close, like in the last month or so, where I generally go. And it was just like, I need to describe this to you. I should honestly draw a picture, but they just made it so dumb. They got rid of an entire lane for car traffic and made it a bike lane. And it wasn't a very busy road, so I was like, yeah, that's fine, right? But the problem is, it's a one-way bike lane. So there's the right side only goes one way and the left side only goes one way. But if you need to get to where that side is, you still have to cross two things of traffic and a middle barrier. So it's like, oh, I guess I should only go in one direction, because if I try to go in the other direction, I don't know, maybe to go back from where I came from, then I just actually can't use the bike path at all. Like, it's hard to describe, but like, you have to imagine like a 2-lane road with a divider in the middle, right? And they put a bike lane on either side of that road on the edges, but they are only one direction. So if you like come to the grocery store, yeah, you can, it's great, it's fine. But then if you try and leave the other direction, it like goes around a corner and is nowhere near where you started. And there's no access to get back to the bike path. It just doesn't make sense. It's a completely nonsensical thing. They just like, I don't know why they put it there, but it's like, all right, dude, whatever. So I just ignored it. No one's used it yet because I'm like the only one who bikes around there. So I used the wrong way bike lane today. Hee. There's some county roads I've been on where I've been terrified of having my arm ripped off. Well, yeah, that's a big problem with a lot of like biking routes across like the United States and stuff, is a lot of them are just like not actually biking routes, where it's like, oh yeah, you have to be on a bridge next to 18-wheelers for like 10 miles right here. And it's like, oh, okay, screw me, I guess, right? Time to die. Dad sold shop. Thanks for the follow. But Where is the background from? Why does it look like the Balkans? No, we're in Palmoli, Italy right now. So, I mean, it's not, I mean, I guess geographically speaking, it's not that far, you know, latitude, longitude wise. So you got it wrong. It's a bike lane to access a professional Frogger course. True. I am a dangerous criminal. I'm a bike criminal. You know, I do have some criminal tendencies. I'll be real. I do have some general criminal tendencies, but a lot of them have to do with nature access, I would say. Like I am a nature access criminal, where it's like if somebody is trying to deny me access to the world, right? To like the woods or something, I'm like, I might ignore that one, right? If someone's trying to deny me access to like a reasonable thing, I'll just be like, nah, I'm just gonna go there anyway. So I'm a little bit of a bike criminal, but not in a bad way, not an obnoxious way, just things like that, right? Where it's like, okay, they made a dumb. None of you hear this. He's legally joking. Yeah, I'm legally joking. I don't do crime. Not right to roam even, but like, you know, here's a good example, right? So, you know, oh, they're doing construction on a park, right? And in their construction on a park, they're like working on making like, I don't know, a new parking lot in front of like a nature trail or something like that. And then they cordon it off because they're working on it. I'm still going to go on the nature trail. Like, you're not going to stop me. like I'm going to go on the nature trail. Sorry. It's the woods. It's public. I'm going there. I don't care. That's the type of stuff. But that's all a joke, of course, as my talent manager screamed. You're the reason state parks have big fees to get in. Nuh-uh. This private forest sign can't stop me. No, I don't go on like private property or anything. I'm talking about like public property where they just like have an unreasonable access restriction, right? A good example was things like that. Yeah, where they shut things down for reasons that don't make sense. And I'm like, I'm gonna go there anyway because that's the woods and I deserve it. Pyro, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. You got us with the nuh-uh. Yeah, it's only reasonable stuff. I'm not meanie. I'm not a meanie head. I don't do like super big naughty stuff, you know? I'm kind of like, yeah, it's like Vashta Stampede. Yeah, force of nature that can't be stopped. Yeah, these signs can't stop me because I can't read. Well, there's a lot of like really silly nature access ones. Like I like exploring, right? And there's a lot of silly like nature. Oh, hey, it worked. What's up? I'm bricking now. Hey. So, okay, this should be for like 10 minutes and then it should automatically swap back. So what do you do if you encounter a bear in the woods? Depends on the bear. There's only black bears where I am and they get scared of me. So, and not even where I am, but like close by. So they get scared of me and it's not a big deal, but why is it so jiggly? It's bricking. It's bricking. All humans should have access to nature to gallop in. Ingo, I agree. That's what I'm talking about. Like, don't take that from me. Yummy snack because I do it. Yeah, you can't take that from me. That's the way to put it. I'm trying to think of like the most nefarious thing I've done that was like technically legal. Oh, what was it? I mean, there was a lot where like there was a lot that didn't. Okay, there were some that didn't make sense. Do I want to say that? Do I want to talk about that one? If it's brown, lie down. If it's black, fight back. If it's a polar bear, yeah, you just die. It's over. It's over forever. Sclimbo, has anyone told you you're a yummy snack, Ori? Well, Ori, thank you. Oh my god. No, not tax evasion. Nothing like that. I'll just say that like. Yeah, Etu, I apologize in advance. Let's pretend it's a fake story. Okay, well, so theoretically, during COVID, for some reason, people thought it was a good idea to shut down woods trails during COVID, you know, outside, which didn't make much sense because nobody used them anyway. So, theoretically, I might have just snuck past those signs and gone on those trails. If in that theoretical scenario that happened, I might have done that all the time because why don't shut down the woods, dummies. it's outside. like we're already stuck inside of our houses. You can't like, I'm going to go outside. Sorry. Come get him, FBI. I'm a public nuisance. Yeah. Well, the thing was people didn't even use the trails anyway. The woods are closed. Yeah, you can't close the woods. Like, sorry. But you have to social distance from nature. You had so much fun camping and hiking during the sea times. Yeah. What do you mean the trees are closed? Exactly. Woods closed. Like, no, I'm not listening to that. Like, come kill me. I don't care. Yeah. So it wasn't very. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Aura Lakari, what's up? I'm glad. And Spectre, guys, back-to-back raids going on. What's up, Raiders? What's up? I'm bricking right now. Unfortunately, I'm bricking right now. Let me give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to both you. Triple Gwen, thanks for the follow. But unfortunately, I am bricking right now. So, I'm gonna give a shout out to Aura, and then I will give a shout out to Spector. Remind me to do that too in about a minute when I can. But thank you for the raids, everyone. Spector, Geist, and Aura Lakari. How'd your streams go? What's up? And thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. My name is Sclimbo. I am Sox Agency's certified Sclimbo and self-improvement VTuber. I do have a silly model on right now, not my real model, which is very beautiful and very different. But today we're doing our Just Chatting stream as well as our fitness check-in. So if you have any fitness or nutrition questions, I'm your guy. I am a professional, and we're going to be doing that in just a bit. I got a marshmallow pinned right in chat if you want to ask any questions for that. But how'd your stream go? Both of you, what's up? And Pentalk, thanks for the follow. They tried that here as well. I went in the police. We were walking there as well. Had a nice talk with them. Didn't get a ticket. Oh yeah, you stumbled on me on Twitter. Hey, what's up? We have fun. You got a local trail that has a 5-meter section that trespasses, but it's on the far side of a mountain, so it doesn't get fixed. Yeah. Not your real model. How can it not be real if it's right in front of me? It's just like, you know, it's not my standard model. It's not my standard. We played RV there yet. Oh, was it a collab? That would make sense with the double raid if that was a collab. Were you two collabing? Yeah, RV there, yeah. All right, cool. I saw that game. I would play that. I would definitely play that. You've been seeing me in the feed. Yeah, I'm around on Twitter, but welcome in. I'm glad you could make it here, and I hope you have a good after stream. I hope you get your protein. Hope you get your rest. If you can stick around, feel free, but if you got to go, I totally understand. Thanks for bringing everyone here. I'll take things from here with the audience. Welcome in, everyone. And yeah, we're just doing a general topics, just chatting before we actually get into like the fitness stuff and doing all of that bad business. So lots of Mordor. Wait, there's Mordor in that game? What do you mean? But I'm a raid and run. Please stay safe, have fun and healthy. Aster Nix, thanks for coming by. Have a good one as well. Had a pork pie and butternut squash soup today. Okay, well, nice pork pie, but you know, kind of sounds like a vegetable. Kind of sounds like a vegetable on the other one, Amelia. I don't know. Haven't had the opportunity to play it. Yeah, it was like coming out. I remember being in pre-debut and Malfi, Addy, and I were looking at it like, oh, we should and we were looking at it like, oh, we should play that. But then debut happened and, you know, all actual plans go out the window because we're like busy, you know. So even anti-squash, listen, I just don't think vegetables are very tasty. That's it. They're very good for you. Please eat them. I just don't think they're very tasty. Hey, True Cactus, thanks for the gifted sub to eat your eat your veggies or else. Come on. That's not fair. That's not fair. Come on. It's not fair. Menos, thanks for the follow. Need some buttery chopped carrots. See, the thing is, Inko, everyone always tells me that. Everyone always is like, oh, but you know, you have to have vegetables this way, or you have to prepare them this way. Honestly, I've tried. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fitness guy, right? So because of that, I've been trying for 12 years to integrate vegetables into my diet in a way that I can enjoy. It just doesn't work. I just hate them every time. And then I get into this like mental loop of like, okay, well, why am I spending money, calories? Why am I spending money and calories on something I don't like for my food to taste worse and me to have a worse time? And I just can't justify it ever. I just can never do it. The only exceptions are like, there are some exceptions, you know? Well, I get my fiber. Don't worry. My nutrition is optimal. I just supplement the things I don't get. I get plenty of fiber. In fact, I'm usually about 1.5 times the daily recommended amount. So I'm usually chilling. How do you eat Japanese curry with no carrots? I'll have it then. Like there are situations, right? So I'll have like carrots in curry when they're all soft and stuff. That's all right. I do like onions and peppers sometimes. Like if that's in stuff, I don't mind at all. It's pretty good sometimes. Hey, what's up, Fluffy? I'm a piece of chicken right now, but that's because it's an alternate model. It's not my real model. I should swap back like pretty soon automatically, I think. But yeah, you know. I've optimized my diet so I don't need veggies. No, I just supplement what I don't get, Ramnor. That's the trick. They've always been so nasty to me, always so bitter with a gross texture. I'm not, you know, I will say, hot take, I'm not a texture person. Hey, Puns, what's up? Nice tan. Oh, thanks. I'm not a texture person. I don't. Oh, Remblanc. Okay, I'll have to refund that one. That doesn't work while we're in this model. That's the thing I still haven't figured out yet. So the shirt redeems do not work, and the hat redeem does not work when I'm in this model. I haven't figured that out yet. Yomi told me how to do it, but something was different on my end, so I have to look at that. So I will refund you later on that. You are what you eat. Hey, what's up, Mika? What's going on? I am a texture person, so take that. Here's the thing. I just think that, you know, I'm not gonna make fun of anyone who has texture problems. I'll tell you how I feel. And how I feel is like, if the food's tasty, I don't care. Like, if it's good, it's good. I don't know. I don't have many thoughts beyond that, you know? It's like, I'm sure there are some textures I like. I don't think there's really any textures I dislike. I'm purely just like, hey, if it tastes good, then it tastes good objectively, right? So we're chilling, you know? Points can be refunded. Oh, wait, I think I can like do that now from my, can I do that? Hold on. No, I don't think I can do it from my end here. There's a way to do it automatically, but I don't have it set up. But at redeem doesn't work either while I'm in this model, but this model swaps back after 10 minutes and we're probably pretty close. Hold on. When was the model swap? Model swap was 8 minutes ago. Yeah, so it'll only be like a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Hey, what's up, Fire Rescue? What's up? Wish I didn't have texture problems. Some foods just don't go down even if they taste good. I would argue, like, are they texture problems, or does the texture make them taste bad? Like, do they taste good? Because I don't understand it, because I've never had it, so maybe someone can like help me figure it out. So is it that the food tastes good, you just get like squeamish from the texture, but it tastes good? Or does it just not taste good because of the texture? I've always wondered about that. Because for me, it's just like, yeah, if it tastes good, it tastes good, you know? So I've always wondered. Tomatoes. See, but for me, it's like, oh, tomatoes just don't taste good in the first place. So I don't mind them. Like, I don't mind tomato sauces. I don't mind tomatoes in like maybe like a sandwich or a burger here and there. But tomatoes alone, no way. Never, never, never. Texture test. Can you eat a blended up hot dog with all the fixings? Yeah, I mean, if it tastes good. Yeah. Bad. Thanks for hydrate. Let me get that. Hope this isn't inappropriate, but you looking like a snack. Yo, thanks, Viral. Thanks. What's up? I'm bricking right now. I'm all brickened up. I'm eating bricking right now. Bengus. Love to hear it. I had two portions of bricking earlier, so I'm also brickened up today. Very brickened up today. But I also grew up disliking a lot of veggies. Recently had more seasoned and cooked veggies, and gotta say, not bad. Yeah, there's like a couple examples I'll eat here and there. Like I said, in things like curries, some things like onions and peppers here and there. Lettuce is fine. I don't mind salads, actually, as long as they don't have like other veggies. There I am. As long as they don't have like other veggies in them, I like salads. But I'm Sclimbo again. What's up, everyone? But yeah, so I'm back. The tongue likes what it likes. Yeah, I guess it does. I just like, I'm trying to think of like what my favorite type of food is, what my favorite flavors are. I really do like spicy stuff. I like warm stuff and spicy stuff. I do enjoy sweets, but I'm not much of a sweets person. Like, usually whenever I have a candy bar, I enjoy it, but then afterwards I start to think to myself, like, I could have had a whole soup instead, and that would have been a better use of my time, you know? I love apples. Sometimes swallowing them activates my gag reflex. Take me like 30 plus minutes to eat one apple when I can slam a burger in 5. Oh, wow. Yeah. What's up? I'm hungry. Me too, honestly. Love the hat. Oh, thank you. Now the toggles should work, so you should be able to take them on and off at will here. You got a thing of ground turkey in log form. Nice. Nice, Damon. What's up? Do you season the brickin' and whatnot? Because I could not just bring myself to eat straight unseasoned. No, you can season it a little bit. Like, but the idea behind the brickin' is efficiency, so you have to just put the seasoning on top. You can't like mix it in or anything like that. Then the ideal of brickin' is defeated. Thanks for the stretch, Brad. Cracks going on. OG cracks. Blend anything, then put it in the freezer, so it'll be like ice cream. Oh yeah, you could have like meat ice cream. I should do that for a stream sometime. That could be a little rough. Spice destroys your taste if you eat it too much. That probably happened to me, actually, Belfry. I used to put Tabasco sauce on everything, and now like things generally just taste good. Vegetables don't, but like my point is more or less that I could have Taco Bell and I could have nice Mexican food, and I enjoy them both the same. But it's nice because I'm very like, it's the same thing with the chocolate. People like make fun of American chocolates. I enjoy American chocolate, but I also enjoy the nice chocolate. So it's like, I just kind of win. I just kind of win either way. Hey, what's up, Sai? What's up? What's up, Captain? How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Had fun in the SMP. That was a great time. But how you doing today? Glad to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hope you got some rest. I know you were busy that weekend. Dump a bottle of sriracha on it can prove anything. Behold the anti-Sclimbo. Where? Taco Bell's better most times. You know what? I wasn't going to say it, Polly, but like, As someone who doesn't really like vegetables, Taco Bell often is better. But I'm also like very defeated by Taco Bell. It's kind of like the Pokemon thing where I'm brain rotted by Taco Bell. I didn't even have it until I was like probably 15 or 16 was when I first had Taco Bell. But I used to do this thing called Christmas burrito, which I still do as a joke sometimes just to mess with my family. But the thing was, like, my family were not good cooks. Unfortunate. As much as I love Sclim Mom and my Sclim Aunt and stuff like that, they weren't, like, very good cooks. Sage Rattel, thanks for the follow. So we would have stuff, for sure, at holidays. It wasn't that great, and we'd also always have things I didn't like ham. At the time, I didn't really like the type of ham or the type of roast that they made. So what I would do is when I had my own car, I would just go out on like the 23rd or Christmas Eve and just get a lot of Taco Bell and put it in my refrigerator. So when my family would be eating Christmas dinner, I'd just go microwave Taco Bell and I'd have Christmas burritos. So big fan. Even up all morning because they're waiting for people to fix my water heater, and the window they gave me was 8 to 4. Oh, that sucks. Give you the infinity window and just be like, be there. That's my favorite. It's like when USPS is delivering something or UPS is delivering something, and they're like, you have to sign for it. Also, we're going to ring the doorbell and run away, and it's going to happen in a 12-hour period. You have to just sit by the door because they're going to try and ding-dong ditch your ass otherwise. Hate that so much. I'm a bougie little creature from a family of insane cooks. Yeah, I wish. I never really like... The thing is, I didn't grow up with a lot of like homemade meals. My situation was great, actually. Like, I enjoyed my Sclim childhood a lot, and I had a great time. But it was bizarre. It was unique because my parents never got married. And, you know, there was no bad blood or anything like that because they never got married. So it's not like they got divorced or anything. But I lived with my mom and my aunt. So I was raised by my mom and my aunt, basically, like they were two moms, more or less. And my dad, I would see, you know, good friends with my dad, and I'd see him all the time and stuff, but I didn't live with him. I would go visit him for like weekends and, you know, stuff like that. Very, very often, usually every other weekend. So because of that, like, you know, it was like a two-mom household growing up. But my mom was a business lady, and she was traveling around all the time and flying and stuff like that. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of cooking going on. So I kind of like, when I got my own car, I was like, hey, listen, just give me money for food and I'll go take care of it myself because I'm good. So Pants, thanks for the follow. And then that kind of balled out of into bad situations. That's why, you know, one of the primary motivations for me getting into fitness in the first place was because I went off the rails when I was younger and just was eating, you know, only KFC and Taco Bell because, you know, don't give a 15-year-old with a car access to unlimited Taco Bell. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. And then, you know, one time I decided I was only going to eat ramen because I could save like my food money for video games if I only ate ramen. And then I went blind. That was cool. Developed migraines and went blind from eating too much ramen. That was a good time. So yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. My dad also like doesn't cook. My dad does not know how to cook. He just eats Chef Boyardee and like that's it, and like Ritz crackers and stuff. So, you know, we're kind of built that way. Was it Maruchan? No, it was Maruchan. It was not good stuff. As a doctor, I am horrified. Yeah, so what I used the blind ramen. I did have the one day blinding soup. That's a real story, actually. That's not a joke. All right, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you that story because that's a good story. And this was actually, that was the turning point where I got involved with fitness. So this is 2013, if we're going to go back in time. This is 2013, right? So I'm getting a food allowance at this time. So I'm basically being given money to buy all my food because I'm still, you know, living with my parents. I'm younger, obviously. And I had my car. So I decided, well, since I'm being given money in cash, why don't I just get as cheap food as possible that I like and then spend the rest of my money on like gas for adventures, going places and buying video games, right? So I was like, ooh, well, if I just eat ramen, and I didn't know anything about nutrition. I was like, if I just eat ramen, then I'll save so much money because ramen's only at the time like 33 cents, right, per package. So I got into the habit of just like eating 2 packages of Maruchan ramen for like almost every meal. Which, mind you, must have been having like 8,000 milligrams of sodium or more per day, right? And yeah, just, you know, over time, everything was fine, tasted great. I was having a good time, just you know. And then I was in school here and there. And actually, this was earlier, because 2013 was when I stopped doing it. But this started in like 2011, 2012, when I was still in school. But yeah, just I started getting like weird visual artifacts. And then one day I was in a science class, and I just stopped being able to see people's faces. Like, I had got like face blindness, and there were like spots everywhere in my vision. And I raised my hand and I was like, hey, can I go to the nurse? I can't see. Mr. Snuffle, thanks for the follow. My GPU was crashing. Yeah, it looked like that. My bloodstream was like COD lobby with all the salt. Yeah. And I was like, hey, can I go to the nurse? And they didn't know what to do, because I was just like, yeah, I was going blind. And what happened was, it was migraines. So if you've ever heard of migraine aura, that's what it was. Basically, what was happening was I would lose my vision almost. I'd stop being able to see the details on someone's face. And then 30 minutes later, my vision would come back, but I'd get a very bad migraine, and I'd have to like big head pain. I'd have to go lay down. And so what was nice about it was, at the very least, I knew it was coming. So whenever I stopped being able to see very well, I would be able to take Advil and avoid the pain. Like, go to bed, right? Take Advil, go to bed, and kind of dodge the pain, because I knew it was coming. But yeah, it turned out that the only thing I could really, like, understanding wise figure out what was going on was because I was only eating ramen, and the sodium was so high, and it was like, you know, a very fast digesting carbohydrate. It was a simple carbohydrate. My blood sugar was likely spiking so far up and down, like regularly, because it was not being paired with anything. It wasn't like I was eating it or digesting it with protein or fat as well, that it was just like causing severe spikes and drops in blood sugar, and probably causing migraines is what I guessed was happening. Because once I stopped doing that, they went away entirely, basically. But yeah, don't just eat ramen, or that'll happen to you. Migraine aura sucks. The Mayo Clinic has a really cool video that explains what it is and how it affects people. Yeah, it looks like you get floaties, but they're like on people's face and stuff. You didn't even throw an egg in there? Oh no, because that costs more money. I could have spent that on video games instead, right? Or like Taco Bell instead. I was a monster. You can't, like, I don't operate on normal human logic. I operate on my own logic, which is like, if I think something's a good idea, right? Where it's like, oh, of course. Like, not knowing anything about nutrition, I was like, why don't I just optimize by eating the cheapest thing that I enjoy over and over and over again, and have so much free money for everything else, like as optimal as possible. It was chasing optimization. That's what led me there. But that was also one of the reasons why I got into fitness, was because as I continued doing that, and I was wondering, because I was still like a kid, right? So I was like, why am I going blind? That's weird. Didn't go to the doctor or anything, because I didn't like talk to my mom about it that much. And, you know, there's not much you could do at the time. So eventually it was 2013 where I was just like, you know what? Let's stop doing this. I'm going to learn about fitness, right? Why did me for real get auto-modded? That's weird. You get floaties. When I got mine, it looked like Staffy from old YouTube's clothing around me. Yeah, no, only then though. But the thing about it is, like, I solved it. Like, it's a solved problem because I figured out what caused it. Hey, Luz, thanks for the follow. I figured out what caused it. I stopped doing that, and now I just don't have migraines ever again, right? So there are a lot of things. I was getting attacked by the DMT jesters. Yeah, the machine elves were coming after me. There's a lot of things like that that can definitely be diet-based. Like, diet can absolutely be medicine, and nutrition can absolutely be medicine, or at the very least put you back to a baseline if you're doing something horrible to yourself. And that's why I'm very interested in it. So that kind of got me into fitness, because through when that was happening, I was very, at the time, I was very like, oh, I don't want to take any medications or anything. And so I was like, I'm going to find a solution to this problem without taking a medication. This migraine problem, right? And then that led me to kind of like research, well, what could be happening to me? Obviously, eating only ramen's probably a bad idea. And then that kind of led me into research about how that works, and then how to avoid it. And then that kind of snowballed from there into like beginning to get interested in nutrition and diet. And then one day I was just like, why don't I just become super fit? And then it was history. But that was the turning point, basically. Well, the real turning point was one morning where I became like dyslexic for an hour. I don't know if it was like a stroke or what, but I was, after one of my ramen binges, I was talking to my mom, and I started getting the vision artifacts, and I just said like a sentence wrong. Like, it just came out incorrectly. And I was like, oh no. That's really bad. And that's what made me like stop, cold stop, was I just like said the word train in the middle of a sentence. Like it just came out of me. And it was just like incorrect. It made no sense at all. I was just like threw the word train in the middle of a sentence. And then I stopped and I was like, uh-oh, I gotta not do this. This is bad. This is really bad. So I know for sure the ramen diet and energy drinks I used to have gave me chest pain, couldn't move, and I felt like I was dying, just waited for it to pass. Moonpie, thanks for the streak, welcome. Yeah, like I had a friend who used to eat a lot of ice cream and only ice cream, and it started giving him heart palpitations because that was his diet. Or another time where one of my friends one time asked me for like, hey, I just want like a really good shake, like a really good nutrition shake that I can have to kind of like bolster things, right? So I gave him a shake that had like fruits and kale and some protein powder and stuff, thinking that he was going to use it as a supplement, right? Like once a day sort of thing. But because he was also thinking optimally, quote unquote, he decided to just only have that shake for food 3 times a day. Because he was like, oh yeah, I don't like eating very much, so I'm just gonna have this shake 3 times a day. And it got to the point where he was only eating liquid or having liquid food. And so he told me he had a sandwich one time and like had massive gut issues because he had a sandwich once because he was so used to just having liquids. I'm like, you idiot. Like, oh, I didn't mean for you to do it like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it was a lot of train otaku thoughts. Permanently reduced my max HP. No, the thing that permanently reduced my max HP, honestly, was getting Lyme disease 3 times. That's what permanently reduced my max HP. I'm gonna be real. I don't know what that's gonna do to me in the future or how it's affected me already, but it's there. It's for sure there. Bro, how? Well, you know, I like the woods a lot. Have you heard about the longest fast ever? No, I haven't. Oh, I get bitten by ticks like, I don't think they gave me superpowers. I think they just made my joints old. I think they just gave me arthritis. I think that's what they did. But no, I just like, there's a lot of ticks around, all right? There's a lot of ticks around. There's no shots for Lyme disease, as far as I'm aware. Dogs get them, but we don't. As far as I'm aware, there are no human shots for Lyme disease. It was 382 days, apparently. I taste bad to ticks. They bit me for like 15 minutes, then fall off. Yeah, I am. I'm arthritis man. I'm Lyme disease dog man. No, it sucks. Like, you know, I'm going to tell you a Sclim fact. I don't mind saying this. I'm going to tell you a little Sclim fact for everyone who's here. And I'm sure a lot of people kind of figured this out already, but like a lot of my stories and things like that do kind of revolve around this. So this is going to be important to know. So my Sclim base, where I'm Sclim based, is in fact in New England. I am a New England Sclim, so Melfi's not the only one from the area, you know? So I will put that out there. I'm not gonna say where, I'm not gonna say what state, but I am in that area. And that's an important piece of information. I think it's important to get it out there because, yeah, East Coast and New England. It's important to get out there because a lot of things are relevant to that. When I talk about temperature or environment or, you know, fitness and stuff, that's relevant information, I think. Malfina isn't European? Well, no, of course. Malfina's from hell, but, you know, she's in Connecticut, right? She's with Clark in Connecticut, right? So she's from hell, though. But when she first came through the portal, she was in Scotland. So I believe that's how she said. You could tell from the weather plus time zone. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, there's no point in hiding it, really. And I feel like saying New England is a big enough region to not, like, you know, dox me. Because it's like, there's a lot of small states in New England, generally, compared to the rest of the world, country-wise and stuff like that. So I don't want to say anything more because it might get a little too close, but I'll say that much. It'll make sense for conventions and stuff, too, right? But yeah, Connecticut Clark, yeah. But I just thought that was funny because everyone was like, oh, New England representation because Malfi with Connecticut. And I was like, me too, actually. Fun fact. But yeah, so being in New England, ticks are a constant problem and a big problem. And yeah, I'm in the woods a lot. Hey, Snowfable, what's up? So because I was in the woods a lot, I didn't realize it. I got bit by ticks all the time. And I had Lyme disease for a while before I got it treated because I just didn't know. And then, you know, there was no indication. I thought it's hard to tell if something's wrong with your own body when it's a slow burn sort of thing and you don't have anyone else's body to be in as a reference, right? So things were happening to me, but I just thought it was aging because I talked to my like you know, older people about it, and they'd be like, yeah, no, that's normal. Where I was like, hey, wow, like, you know, things start to hurt when you get older, and like, you don't bounce as much and stuff. And my dad was like, yeah, that started when I was like 25. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's normal. And then it turned out that no, it wasn't at all. Actually, I shouldn't need to nap in the middle of the day. I had Lyme disease. And so we got tested, and they came back and they were like, you have 60 times the positive amount of Lyme disease in your body, and it's been there for a long time. And I was like, oh. And so, yeah, I got treated for that for quite a while. And then I got it a couple more times because I kept getting bit. And yeah, I don't know what damage it did to me. I don't know. It's, you know, I'm only in my own body. So I don't know if like my joints are worse than other people's, but I'm able to keep up my level of fitness. I'm sure that helps. We'll see what happens when I'm 50. We'll see how that looks in the future. But yeah, that is a thing that happened. Lyme disease is so misdiagnosed. I knew people that were bedridden for a decade because they couldn't figure out it was Lyme. Hey, Max Ren, thanks for the follow. Yeah, well, the problem is like a lot of places don't test for it because they don't have it in that area, right? So like there's a lot of places where ticks aren't. And New England, everyone knows about Lyme disease, and everyone, you know, knows about how to deal with it because it's so common. But if you live somewhere else that doesn't have it and you travel and you happen to get it, it's really hard to figure out because no one will think about that. No one will think like, oh, it could be ticks, right? I'd bathe in bug spray. That's the problem though, is I hate the feeling of bug spray on me. I hate the feeling of anything on me. It's like I don't even know if it's like an OCD or a squeamish thing. I just don't like to put stuff on my skin like that. It feels all yucky and sticky and icky because I like being clean, right? And so I don't do it. I don't put on bug spray, which makes things hell all the time. But I have my physical therapy reevaluation today for my shoulder. I'm good to go, back to normal. I'll look for a gym that has personal trainers. I have one in mind. Nice. Glad to hear it, Flavor. And glad to hear it. Lyme disease, I don't think I'm able to squeeze lime juice into my bloodstream. Yeah. Love the hat. Thanks, Q. Thanks, Q. But yeah, bug spray is always sticky and icky. I didn't even like sunscreen when I was younger. I was like, ew, gross, ew, gross. So, not a fan. But that's a lot of like get to know Sclimbo information. I'm yapping a lot about myself today, but just chatting's just chatting. We talk about whatever. We're going to get into fitness in just a moment here. Hey, Ultra Squid, what's up? What's up? Permethrin doesn't go into your skin. It goes in your clothes. Might be worse for you than DEET, though. I just don't like to put things on. That's why I'm a big anti of summer, actually, in my area. I'm a summer anti. I am a summer anti. Because here's the thing, right? In the winter, I can just put on more layers and go outside and everything's fine. In the spring and fall, there's no bugs. It's not too cold or warm. I can go outside and everything's fine. In the summer, if I want to go and do anything, I have to put on sunscreen, put on bug spray, and then also sweat all over the place. It just sucks. There's nothing good about it. Like, I'm in the woods a lot, right? So mosquitoes are a constant problem, and they just will start like dive bombing my face during the summer. It's just a bad season in general to be outside, I think. Like, if you're at the beach, sure, maybe, because then, you know, you don't have bugs around or anything like that. But you still have to put on sunscreen. And I just don't like when I have to do extra steps to go outside. That's not very fun. It's not very fun. Hey, what's up, Larper? What's going on? I really appreciate the level of detail that wins your model. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. It is beautiful. Notification, you've got mail. Yeah, ticks are really bad. Horseflies at the beach. Yeah, true. Horseflies too. Perks of being a winter person, same. I mean, fall and spring, I think, are just like optimal because it's like too cold for the bugs to be out. Wow, I feel naked. It's been a while since I've had the shirt off today. But it's like too cold for the bugs to be out, but you can still wear kind of like loose clothing, and you don't have to put sunscreen on necessarily. You probably should, but you don't have to. It's just kind of optimal, spring and fall, you know? Yeah, ticks are evil. Ticks are evil. They do nothing. Whatever they do in nature, I'll do it. I don't care. Like, that's one of those things. Same thing for mosquitoes, where it's like, oh, but they're an important. No, I don't care. Get them out of here. I'll do it. I don't care what natural function they serve. I'll do it instead. Make it my job. Just get them out of here. They just cause too much problems with my life. Hey, what's up, Shrimp? Nice hat today. Oh, thank you. Looks very naked. Yeah, their job is getting eaten. I'll get eaten. It's fine. You can eat me. I don't care. You have a great design. It's very old school Barney's Army vibe. Everyone says smiling friends. I get smiling friends a lot. Spiders are poggers because they eat the bugs. Yeah, like spiders, don't get me wrong. I don't want them around me, but I don't care. Mosquitoes and ticks are just a problem. Like, just get them all out. Get them all out. Autumn and early spring when it's still quite cold are my faves. Yeah, ticks can make you allergic to meat. Yeah, that would suck if I got alpha gall. Although, I think alpha gall, isn't that just for red meat? Because I'd actually be okay if I couldn't eat red meat ever again. I'm mostly a poultry eater and like a fish eater. I don't really eat red meat that often, so I would be okay. I still don't want it because burgers are yummy, but I'd be all right. Do you run into spider webs often? Yes, hydration. Actually, fun fact about that is you can tell if you go in the woods a lot, you can tell if other people have been in the woods before you by if you run into spider webs or not. It's a cool tracking thing where it's like on a trail. If you are hitting spider webs early in the morning, you know you're the first one there. Ah. Okay, I gotta go take an ad break real quick, and then we're gonna start talking about fitness stuff. Not that we weren't already, but we did just hit pre-roll ads, and we want to disable those. Put the dongler away, just had to use the 0. So I'm gonna go to a quick ad break, and I will be right back in 4 minutes, and then we're gonna swap over to health and fitness and get started with the fitness questions and topics. Stick around, because we got a lot of important stuff to cover, such as holiday dieting tips, and a lot of cool 0-calorie hacks and stuff like that, as well as answering all those marshmallows that I've seen everyone putting in. So I will be right back, and enjoy. And of course, if you want to disable ads, go ahead and sub. That'll help. All right, be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Actually, a quick housekeeping before we go ahead and swap to fitness. Also, hi, welcome back. How you doing? Hopefully the ads weren't too mean. What did everyone get for ads, by the way? I always like to ask because I want to know if you're like getting fitness ads because we talk about it. Like if it's kind of like checking, you know, what we're saying and stuff. Like what sort of ads do you get, or is it tiered towards you and the stuff that you watch? I wonder. You're here in time for Sclimbo. Hey, what's up, Ma? Alienware X Wendy's. I mean, I do like both of those things. Gaming laptops and fast food. Yeah, that works. You only get Twitch Turbo. Honestly, Twitch Turbo is really cool. Like a non-insignificant amount of like streamer income comes from Twitch Turbo. I never realized that, but it's actually really cool. Really cool. Okay, quick housekeeping before we get into fitness. Couple things I want to talk about because they're like not last minute things, but things I want you to be aware of. First things first, over here, we are also going to be talking about fitness a little later tonight after this stream. I know we haven't talked about it yet today, but we have a special topic we're going to do. So if you want, at around 8 p.m. EST, I know it's not on here, but 8 p.m. EST, so about 7 hours from now, I am going to be on Almontes' channel. That's Almontes VT, a former professor VTuber, and we're going to be talking about aging and exercise together. A little informal discussion we're going to be doing later tonight. So if you enjoy talking about fitness and all that, definitely check that out if you can make it, because I will be over there tonight, but I will not be streaming my POV, so I will be over on Montes' channel. So yeah, so that's going to be going on. Yeah, very much bedtime. It's close to bedtime for me too. I'm going to be probably up a little late doing it. What was he a professor in? Honestly, I don't remember. It might have been sociology. I don't remember. I don't want to say because I don't remember what Almontes was a professor in, but Almontes does a lot of educational content. It's pretty cool. Sociology. Oh, was I right about that? That's pretty good, actually. That's old people bedtime. Yeah, me too. So that's going on. And then also a last minute thing. That's why this wasn't on the schedule, but ta-da! Me and all of SVA Gen 2 are going to be going on Ilara's Tea Time this Saturday, the 22nd. This was a last minute thing, so it wasn't on the schedule, but Ilara runs these Tea Time streams where she invites just like groups of people on randomly to talk for like 45 minutes, like a chaotic tea time sort of thing. And SVA Gen 2 will be on this weekend. This time is still kind of being finalized, but I think we're going to be kind of right in the middle. So this is 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. CST. I believe we're around the 3 p.m. or no, 2 p.m. CST, 3 p.m. EST mark. So we're going to be on there for about 45 minutes on Saturday as a little surprise. So that wasn't on the schedule, so I wanted to put it out there. But how much tea will you all drink? I don't know, but I don't even know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to have fun. Back from therapy, now ready for self-improvement. Let's go, Sora. You're just in time. We're swapping over to fitness in a moment, but we are going to be doing this as well. So just want to put that out there. What are those? All right, let me move me. And we're going to go into the fitness category now. So everyone, remember, just like last time, we want to be nice because some people might be coming in from fitness and health that don't know what VTubers are because there's no other VTubers in that category. So let's be nice to anyone who doesn't know. And we're going to start answering the marshmallow questions and getting through some fitness topics. All right. So now we can justify swapping because I don't like to be in health and fitness when we're not talking about it. So I'm always careful about when we swap over because I know like I want to have a good impression on the category is the thing, because I know people might be looking at it weird, like what's a VTuber doing here, right? So I want to make sure that I am talking about that when I'm in the category. But all right, here we go. We are swapped over, I believe. We are now in fitness and health. So that being the case, let's go to the gym. We're in the gym. What's up? Your model would be quite the introduction for someone new to VTubers. Yeah, kind of. Put your best foot forward is the idea. We want to be respectful, right? We want to have a respectful entrance into the space. They want to know what the peak male form is doing in the category. They're like, what is this? Well, because a lot of people will look at the thumbnail in fitness and be like, what the hell is going on? Okay, let's do marshmallow questions first so we can let more come in if necessary and then do topics afterwards. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the disclaimer away and we're gonna get that going on. I'm gonna run into the corner here for the live Sclimbo reaction, and then we will grab me over here and put me down. I'm the man in the box. See, I'm the man in the box. There's my little Sclimbo in the box there, the live Sclimbo reaction. I'm going to turn the hat off because it kind of gets in the way there for now. But now I'm down there, small bow. Yeah, hey, what's up, everyone? I'm in the corner. But how much Sclim meter for the gym background to get colors? I don't know. The Sclim meter might go up a tick soon. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks, so maybe it'll go up a tick soon. VTubers tend to glamorize self-neglect goblin lifestyle. It's nice to see someone breaking the norm. Yeah, well, I think it's important, right? Because if we want VTubing to be around for a long time and to be a healthy industry, we also have to be healthy. We also have to be doing our best, you know? 100,000 bits for paint bucket tool. Yeah. All right, let's get to the questions because I do have a bunch of them here. So I should have my browser source set up. Let me just open that. Bada bing, bada boom. And there we are. All right. On to fitness questions now. And if you do have any, you can feel free. We're going to go in order from when they started last week. And you can be free to put those in and we will get to those and then talk about topics once we catch up. All right. Starting off from the bottom. Hey, Sclimbo, my man. I've been cleaning up my diet a lot in the last few years, but the one thing I still don't have down pat is water intake. I'm still constantly slightly dehydrated. Can't get myself to drink more without feeling bloated or nauseous. Is there some sort of trick to stay hydrated better? I think it's going to refresh when I do this, but good question. Oh, yeah, we've got more. Yeah, we got like 14 more already. Okay. Like that. So, water intake and how to deal with hydration. Unfortunately, you do just have to drink water. Not to say there aren't some tricks we can talk about. But at the end of the day, you will just have to drink some water. Now, the nausea and that sort of thing and the bloatedness, a lot of that sometimes can come from water temperature, and you can kind of mitigate it by making it more tap water, like room temperature, if you're not already. Because one thing is that like cold water will actually take longer to move through your system, and it will like not empty from your stomach as easily. So you can feel bloated more frequently, more often, and a little more nauseous sometimes if the water's really, really cold and you drink a lot of it at once. So my big recommendations would be use room temperature water and drink it over time. So carry a bottle with you and just sip it over hours. Don't try and drink a lot of water at once. That should help with the nausea and the bloating. But besides that, you want to probably find ways to make hydration fun. So this is where you'd use things like Mio. You might use things like certain like gamer sups, you know, supplements that don't have the caffeine in them, because they have those like non-caffeine ones too. Things like that, right? Like water flavorings or sparkling water, things like that that still get you hydrated. Gatorade, sugar-free Gatorade, but will be more fun to drink. So it's kind of more of a, like an enjoyable thing. And that will really help with the hydration. But those would be my three big ones: is slow down the pace, basically. Don't do it all at once. Room temperature, and try and make it a little more fun to drink. It's a hard problem for everyone, but we really, really need to get hydration in us. It also, not to mention, if you're a lifter, hydration actually does affect strength. I mean, no surprise, but if you didn't think about that before, it does affect strength. If you're dehydrated, you will be weaker. So, hey, Ven Castle, as a Mio enjoyer, that shit goes hard. Yeah, by the way, shout out to Ven Castle, who made the Sclimbo artwork in the thumbnail today. So the one you see on YouTube and the one you will see, or you saw on Twitter, that Sclimbo in there was made by Ven Castle. So shout out for that. Drinking with straw helps. Yeah. Got myself a super pretty water bottle that's 32 ounces. I can drink 3 or 4 of these in a day, and it's not bad. No, that's really good, actually, Inco. That's just what you want to be doing. Does eating things like watermelon and other foods full of water count? Yes, that will hydrate you. Like things like watermelon especially, because it is very full of water. So anything that has water in it, by definition, hydrates you. And that would be another way to do it. Yeah, but if you're feeling bloated or nauseous from water, I don't know if watermelon would be the best call, unless it works for you, just because that is also adding volume. And like watermelon is a trick that we would use if we feel hungry all the time, but we want to feel full. So I imagine for someone who's feeling bloated or nauseous from having too much water, they might not want to get a lot of that volume in a food, because that might be like the opposite problem almost, right? Like to add some organic lime juice to sparkling mineral water. That does have calories. Yeah, but not that bad. And there's plenty of, 5-calorie drinks, 0-calorie drinks. We'll talk about some later. Hey, Action, what's up? I always underhydrate during the fall and winter. Yeah, that's the tough part, right? It's like winter, it's not like we're sweating a lot, so we tend to underhydrate. Just try and like set yourself. What's really good to do is carry around a bottle and set it like a pace per day, right? So you know that the bottle has to be done by a certain amount of time. So if I have, for example, 4 meals a day, I would fill a big water bottle and just know that by the next meal, this needs to be done. Doesn't have to be all at once. It can be over time, but I should finish this bottle before my next meal, and then same thing for the next meal, same thing for the next meal. So that's like kind of one way to try and think. You could try those sweeties they give to old people with dementia that help them keep hydrated. Wait, I've never actually seen those. What are those? Done that with cabbage. Ate so much cabbage some years back. Yeah, like high volume foods to when you're hungry. That's really helpful. But in this case, probably not. But you can do a lot with cabbage. Actually, cabbage and egg whites is like a crazy high volume food. If you just do like cabbage, egg whites, and then hot sauce, it's so much volume for like no calories at all. You will not be hungry. Shavo, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. All right, so that's that question. Next question. What other good sources of fiber outside of fruit and vegetables would you recommend? Honestly, things like beans are a big one. Any sort of beans, lentils have a lot of fiber in them, often way more than vegetables and fruit do. The thing is, vegetable and fruit do have fiber, but not that much compared to your daily requirements. So, good example. Bananas and apples have something like 4 grams of fiber per apple, right? But we want like 38 grams of fiber a day. So how many apples are you eating in a day regularly? So I don't know. I think a lot of people do have a misconception that if they eat an apple, they're probably good on fiber, but it's nowhere close. You need to be looking at your fiber. That's the reason why 95% of Americans undereat fiber. You got to be paying attention to it. So definitely beans, definitely lentils, things like that on top of the fruit and veg, which you should be eating. But that's also for a variety of fiber sources where I like to talk about that keto trick that I've talked about before. You spend a lot of time in Japan. Do you ever try okonomiyaki? Yes, I did. They look like hard-boiled sweeties. They're actually full of fluid. Oh, okay. But yeah, lentils are good. Beans for sure. Chia seeds, that sort of thing. But one other recommendation that I'll show here is something I've talked about a lot, but I have to just show you this time. So this is what I mean when I say go for the keto products, because even though you shouldn't probably do keto, the products they have that are carbs are made out of fiber. So for example, here's a carb balance wrap. Look at this. This is a tortilla wrap. 70 calories, 17 grams of fiber. This is what I mean. It's low calorie. Like if you want to put, say you have some bricken, right? You're making some bricken. Put one portion of bricken with a little bit of cheese in the tortilla, have a little burrito, and there's your half your daily fiber. That's how you do it. 140 calories will get you all your fiber for the day. That's a trick that I like to employ. And, you know, there are bagels that are like all your fiber for the day. There's not only wraps, there's breads as well. So this is one of my big tricks. Hey, Zora, what's up? Got some keto bread. Haven't tried it yet, but hopeful. It's tough heroic because some of them are good. Some of them are rough. There's this one brand of like white bread that feels very fluffy, but some of them at the worst can be kind of gummy. So definitely play around and see which one you like, because not all keto bread is made equally. That's for sure. I haven't made it in forever, but it's good, especially in the colder months. Yeah, big soup. Get on soups. Soups are really good on fiber because they tend to have beans in them and lentils and stuff like that. A lot of soups are good for that. And that's one of the reasons why I was kind of shilling the Progresso bean soup, because its macros are actually really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, sodium's a little high, but the ingredients are good and it has a lot of vegetables in it. But the Southwestern bean soup from Progresso is 210 calories, 20 grams of protein, and I think like 14 grams of fiber. So it's good on like every angle. It's basically a Quest bar in a soup. And so I'm a big fan of that. Soup is life. What's my favorite? Honestly, I'm pretty basic. I like spicy soups. I like chicken noodle. I like potato soups. I like clam chowders and stuff like that. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, I like barley, barley soups, fiber soups. Soups are one place where I will have vegetables. They're kind of like more soft and mix in with the flavors and stuff. Got some seeded Oro wheat. Their stuff usually slaps. Nice. None of those are spicy. Well, I also like spicy soup. Sorry. Spicy soups on top of those, I'll say. Like separate category, right? Like I like, Southwestern spicy soups too. Clam chowder, true New Englander, proud of you. Yeah, clam chowder. You got the clam chowder. You got to get the clam chowder, right? You got it, Owen. You got it. But yeah, high recommendation here for fiber. Get on stuff like this. The only problem with the fiber like foods is that they tend to be more expensive. So whereas a normal set of Mission tortillas might be like $2.99, these are going to be $4.99. But just realize how much fiber you're getting out of them, and it's so worth it. It's so worth it. They have this El Paso chicken enchilada. Yeah, I'm a big fan of chicken enchilada. Love that. Absolutely. Not a big veggie eater too. We'll put them in a soup or blend them, and we can talk. Yeah, them we're vibing, Did clam chowder once as a kid, enjoyed it a lot. Clam chowder is great. I always keep some. I mean, it's like not good grocery store version, but I always have some in my cabinet just in case. But yeah, this would be one of my big recommendations for that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, what exactly does stretching even do? With warm-ups, I can definitely feel a difference in how much I can do and how easy it is, but stretches never seem to do anything as far as I can tell. Okay, so stretching is good. You should stretch. Stretching, you know, can help avoid injury, especially with any sort of dynamic sports and stuff like that, because what you're doing is kind of lengthening the end range of your mobility and making sure things aren't tight. So because things aren't tight, they will snap less easily. So, you know, things can be, when things are tight and under tension and stuff like that, it's easier to kind of push them out of sorts. So that's why you want to stretch. It's definitely good to stretch, but you are onto a truth here that in the lifting community we talk about all the time, which is that when you're weightlifting, it is way better to do dynamic stretches than static hold stretches. And that's what you mean by warm-up. So a warm-up is simply a dynamic stretch. So for example, if you're bench pressing and you're going to do a hard set of bench press, you warm up first, right? You take the bar and then you kind of just push with the bar, and then you'll put maybe like a third of your weight on, and then you'll do a set like that just to warm yourself up. That is dynamic stretching. And as far as lifting goes, that is a much more optimal form of stretching for what you're going to be doing, right? Sports specificity. If you're going to be bench pressing, the best way to get ready to bench press is to bench press. The best way to get good at running is to run. The best way to be good at soccer is to play soccer. It's the same sort of idea. So stretching is good, but you want to be doing that more sort of dynamic stretching when you're weightlifting. Absolutely. And what normal stretching does for static stuff is just increase mobility, reduce risk of injury, so on and so forth. What I would say is if you're doing dynamic, non-dynamic stretching, like static hold stretching, I would do it at the end of an exercise if you're lifting rather than before. That might sound counterproductive, but generally a more optimal way to lift, if you're doing lifting in particular, is to do dynamic stretches beforehand, warm-ups, and then if you're going to do static stretches, do them after the workout, not before. So that would be one recommendation, but it is good. Everyone should get on stretching in general, especially because we sit so much. And because we sit so much, things really like to get locked up. So definitely get on that. Definitely get on that. It is chowder season, yeah. Why would I run? Is someone chasing me? Why? What did I do? Dante, you tried your best. That's what you did, clearly. But good question. No, stretching is good, but definitely focus on dynamic stretching when you're doing weightlifting and stuff like that. How would I get my overweight 55-year-old father to want to join me in counting calories and going to the gym / exercising with me? Ooh, that's a tough one because it's really going to depend on what type of person your father is. So, you know, you could go the earnest route where you're like, hey, dad, listen, like, I want you to be around for a while. I'm worried about you. You know, I want you to be able to be around to see the grandkids, right? And that could pull at certain people's heartstrings and make them think like, oh, wow, like I really got to watch out for my health. Like I will say, as a trainer, one of the #1 things I see is people start working out when they're about to have a kid. Like when they're a new father or a new mother and they're about to have a kid, that is when they start looking at their health, because they start thinking, oh my God, I want to be around and capable when my kid's in high school. I want to be able to throw ball and go on runs and bike ride with them and stuff like that. So that can be, your child can be a #1 motivator there. So as the child, you can be the motivator. You can say like, hey dad, I really want to do this thing with you. Or if that's not going to work, like if he's kind of like curmudgeon and grumpy about it, you could try and go from the angle of like spending time together. Like this is a way to spend time together where you don't get to see them that often, but that's a way you could. But yeah, it is tough because you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. All you can do is make it easy for them. So you could constantly invite them, right? You could say like, hey, I'm going to be here. Would love to see you here, and just kind of keep on top of it and stuff like that. But unfortunately in the end, yeah, you can't make someone want fitness. They have to want it themselves. So they hopefully would come to a conclusion eventually, but it's very hard. It's also very hard to break a lifetime of habits. So unfortunately, I would say there's nothing you can force there. There's only motivations you can give. And another one being that if they see success from you, right? If you lock in, if you do really good with it, if you're talking about it a lot and you're, you know, obviously becoming healthier and more capable, your dad might see that and go, wow, like I can do that too, right? So you could be a motivator by practicing what you preach, kind of. Let me take a drink here. My dad quit smoking for me cold turkey when I said it was going to kill him, and it made me sad. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have the power as the child to do that. So I can't wait to live closer to my parents so I can pressure them into exercising. Yeah. Pressure your parents into exercising. It's great. It's great, and you should do it. All right, how do I calculate the total calories I can have to cut? I know what you mean here. Let me open up something and show you, because I talked about it last stream, but I didn't have it open. So it's probably good to go through it. Let me go ahead and just close browser source for a moment so I don't dox myself accidentally, because that tends to happen. And I'm going to pull up something. So we're going to grab the Omni calculator. Wait, I want to show you how to use this. This is going to be a good tool for everyone to use. Okay, let me just check the page, make sure there's nothing sketchy here. Not showing my exact neighborhood or anything like that. All right, let's rock. So check this out. This is, I know it's slightly off here because I was what's it called, had the source tiered for something else. So let me just bring it in for a moment. So this right here is the Omni calculator. It's what I like to use to calculate because it lets me use all the different formulas and stuff. So when you see BMR formula here, last week we talked about BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. This is the formula for determining basically at rest how many calories your body burns if you don't move at all, if you're in a coma. And then we add activity on top of that to calculate total daily energy expenditure. So, for example, you just put your information in here. So if I were to give like a sample, right, and talk about it, let's say we're going to use revised Harris-Benedict as a formula. And all these formulas are slightly better at different things. I don't remember the exact specialty of all of them. I believe revised Harris is best with people who are more overweight, and Catch-McCardle is better with women. I forget, but all of these formulas are good. They just have slight differences, but these are a baseline anyway. You still have to test yourself. Thanks for the hydrate mules. What's up? So let's say, for example, these are like the people who develop these formulas. These are like the science studies, like the Schofield formula, Harris-Benedict, Mifflin-St. Jeor. Those are like the people who develop the formulas, basically. So this is OmniCalc. So just look up OmniCalc TDEE if you want to check the website. But most calorie calculators will work the same and use these formulas. This one just lets you pick, right? So for example, say you're a female, we'll say 25, you are 5'5", right? And you currently weigh 170 pounds, something like that, right? Physical activity level. This is a tough one. I would recommend most people, if you don't work out, do sedentary. Unless your job has you on your feet for like 15K steps a day, 10K steps a day, just pick sedentary, because people tend to overestimate how much they're actually exercising. Even me, I tend to be around light exercise. Even though I go out on a bike a lot and I lift a lot, it really works for me only at light exercise. So I would say go sedentary, especially if you're trying to lose weight, because we're talking about what to cut, right? Now, this is going to give you a couple numbers. This is going to give you your basal metabolic rate and your total daily energy expenditure. Don't go below this when you're cutting. So don't go below this 1500 when you're cutting. That would be bad long term. But you do want to go below this to lose weight, because this is the number where if you eat above it, you will gain weight. And if you eat below it, you'll lose weight. The problem is this isn't 100% accurate. And I'm using revised Harris right now. So if we were, for example, to swap to Mifflin-St. Jeor, you might see it's slightly different, right? 1517, 1820 versus, if we go Harris-Benedict, it's 1564, 1877. It's within 100 calories. And that's fine. That's why you can kind of use most of them, because that's not the end of the world. You're going to need to test this anyway. So, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, you would want to go under this number. Now, unfortunately, because this is a sedentary person, their BMR and their TDEE is going to be very close to each other, so they don't have much wiggle room. Now, for example, if we were to go up to light exercise, look at that. Suddenly, we have a lot more wiggle room between those two numbers. So you could theoretically cut by about 400 calories or something like that, be at 1600 and be totally fine above your basal metabolic rate. So that's why it's generally recommended to do exercise if you're sedentary, because it gives you more of a gap between those two things. But you would want to take this number and just go under it. Every day that you're eating under it, you're losing weight. And then you do that over a long period of time. And that's how you cut, basically. Now, should also point out, what website is this again? This is Omni Calculator. Here, I'll even just throw it in the link in chat. But this isn't the only one. You can use most of them. Also, I'm doing a lot right now because of my number toggles. I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that. Typing numbers did a lot. But hold on, let me put this in chat. OmniCalc, yep. You have to go. Thank you for helping out, chat. Have a good day. You too, Mules. Thanks for coming by. This is this site, but if you just look up calorie calculator, most of them work the exact same way. So you don't have to worry that much about which one you're using. This is just the one I like to use because I can pick the specific formula for my needs, basically. And because I know when I'm at my best, I know which one's more optimal, right? So yeah, the idea is once you get your TDEE and these calculators, you just want to go under that, and then you'll slowly lose weight over time. So 1 pound of fat is roughly 3,500 calories. So every time you're under your TDEE by 3,500 calories, you will ideally lose 1 pound of fat or 1 pound of weight, right? So that's how you do it. You create a small deficit over a long period of time and you slowly lose weight. And then, you know, various factors can affect this. So if you, you know, have a hard job or you exercise moderately, hey, Spectre, what's up? Welcome in. Then obviously this number goes up, right? And then you just want to eat under that number. Now, you do still need to figure out what that number is. So don't take the number on this website as gospel, because it's a good guideline, but your exact needs are going to be different, because you might have a different walking stride. You might have some, you know, certain medical conditions, or metabolism might be slightly different in a different range, right? So it's not going to be very far off this number, but it can definitely be off this number. So you generally want to, when you start a new diet, try and weigh yourself for like the first couple weeks, be very strict about the amount you eat, and then use that data to guide where you should go, right? Because you might, for example, this might say, hey, I'm burning 2,400 calories a day, and you might eat 2,200 calories a day and find that you're losing more weight than expected. And then you realize, oh, actually, my number's higher than I thought. I was exercising more than I thought. So this is a baseline, but you have to experiment with it to find the actual number that you want to eat under. And that's individual for pretty much everyone's. The deficit puts, let's see, the deficit puts be under 1,000 calories per day for you, Inko. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go under your BMR. Don't go under your BMR. What about for truck drivers? The thing about this is it's agnostic. It doesn't care what you do. So if you're a truck driver, you're sedentary, let's say, you're just sitting in the truck all day, just put in your information, it'll do the same thing, right? So if we would go male, I don't know, 33, we were to go 5'11", and we were to go 240 pounds, boom, numbers, right? So you can use this for any situation, for any human being. You just will also have to experiment afterwards to see if that's the right number for you. You know what I mean? Also, I turned on all my toggles. You know, it's funny because I don't use the number pad that often, but now I'm using the number pad a lot. Oh, let's see. I had one person post theirs on Twitter, and it was 200 calories a day intake to lose 2 pounds a week. Well, yeah, no, that's probably not right. That's probably incorrect. Reducing sugar intake can help a lot too with losing weight. Sort of, not really. So the thing about sugar is sugar inherently doesn't cause you to gain or lose weight. Like sugar only has, I think, like 15 calories per gram. It's not a lot. The thing about sugar is that sugar makes you want to eat more sugar. So people who eat a lot of sugar tend to overeat sugar, which leads to them gaining weight because they're overeating calories. But there's nothing inherent about sugar that makes it like you gain weight no matter what calories you have if you eat sugar. That's not really a thing. BMR of nearly 2K. I have some doubts. No, that could be real. Like my BMR is like up there. My BMR is absolutely up there. But just make sure you're putting in your info accurately. You might have to measure things, and you might have to do all that. So I just guesstimated how much calories I should eat in a day. I was pretty damn close. Nice. Yeah. Great explanation. Yeah, no problem. Sugar's like 4 calories per gram. Is it usually? I might have been wrong. I could be super wrong about that. I thought it was like 15. No, it might be 15 per 5 grams. I'm thinking about a serving of sugar, but I think servings of sugars are in, like if you get pure sugar, I think it's in 5 gram servings. So it might be 15 per 5 grams. I don't remember the exact number. So if you look it up, it'll be right. I don't have everything off the top of the head, unfortunately, but all to say that sugar alone cannot cause a problem. Sugar just makes you want to eat more sugar, which can be a problem. So limiting sugar can be very smart, because then you'll have less cravings. Like you eat chocolate, you want more chocolate, right? Fat is 9, proteins 4, and alcohol was 7. Fat's 9, Fat's 9, proteins 4, yes. Sugar is like 4.1 kcal per gram. Fat's like 9. Yeah, because sugar's a carbohydrate. So same as carbohydrates. There's data from people in the 50s, 60s eating closer to 3K calories, including sugar, and they were still lean because they're metabolically healthy. Yeah, that's the thing. There's no tricks. There's really no tricks. It's literally people used to be more active. That's one of the biggest reasons why we are more overweight these days is people used to be more active. Our lifestyle is less active. If you look at historical calorie consumption, it's actually kind of high. Like we're not that unreasonable right now. It's just that we don't move enough. Good example, right? So my maintenance calories are 3,000 because I do move a fair bit. I'm a bigger person. I have a lot of muscle and stuff like that. So I only gain weight if I'm eating like 3,500 calories. And that's like less than, that's like a pound per week, right? So it's like, yeah, you can absolutely have these really high numbers and really high metabolic rates if you just do a lot of activity. Think about construction workers. Think about people who are athletes. They're burning so many calories a day. They're eating 4,000, 5,000 a day and staying lean because they're burning just that much. I keep thinking of those Richard Simmons workout vids in the 80s and 90s. I want to make one of those one day. That could be good. I know Strongman, he's got like 3,500 kcal a day. Yep, totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. And that's one of the good reasons why it's good to have muscle, right? And why you should want to gain muscle is because muscle is more metabolically active. So when you have a lot of muscle, your metabolism also goes up, meaning you can eat more without gaining fat. So it's another good reason to gain muscle and to gain a lot of it, basically. Is you can eat more when you're muscular. I started gaining weight when I got in a sedentary job, even though I wasn't eating more. Exactly, because all of the like calories you were burning in the exercise just aren't there anymore, you know? So we should, let's see, eat less than TDEE, but not less than BMR. Exactly. Be in between those two numbers if you want to lose weight, and then go over your TDEE if you want to gain weight. But you still need to do things to find what that number is. And that's also not to say, thanks for the stretch, Firestar, that's not to say that things won't affect that number too. So we talked about it briefly, but certain things like hyper and hypothyroidism can affect the balance there. So it can affect energy balance, meaning it's not to say that you can't lose weight anymore if you have one of those things. It's just that your number might be lower because of the disorder, because it's a metabolic malfunction. So keep that in mind. Manny Kume, thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. Prime sub. Let's go. Never forget. Never forget, it's free with Prime. Hey, Almontes. For old history stuff, we usually have to rely on military records because that's the only place we have real numbers for how much food anybody was eating. And yeah, 3K plus is common because we're talking about guys who are marching 10 miles a day and then doing construction. Exactly. And we do have some older data from like US consumption data in the 1900s. Not earlier than that usually, but we do have data from like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and 50s and stuff like that, which is very, very useful. But hey, Almontes, what's up? I'm excited for our collab later. So that's what you should do here for calculating calories. So find your TDEE, experiment with it, and then go under it is the answer. Oh, this is gonna be a fun question. I saw this one ahead of time. Let me move the window a little bit though, because I did advance it there. So be probably right about here. Bigger, move it over. Okay, back to what we were doing. Hopefully that was helpful though. Hey Lena, me finding your stream during this time's helpful, enjoying listening. Been trying to be more active lately. Also just learned I have low iron, which is why I've been so exhausted. Got to eat vitamins, probably generally eat better. Yes, iron deficiencies and vitamin D deficiencies. I don't want to say it this way, but you probably have one of them. Not you, everyone here. Like, the thing is, most people I work with have those deficiencies. There is like I think it's like iron deficiency, something like 40-something% of all people in the United States have iron deficiency. And like vitamin D deficiency, especially if you live on a coast, or like the East Coast or up north or something like that, where you just don't get vitamin D in general during winter, like you're gonna have a deficiency, absolutely. And that can definitely part of seasonal depression is just a lack of nutrients. So there's a lot of things that are affected by that sort of thing. Always good to stay on top of your vitamin consumption. So definitely keep that in mind. You are 100% right. A lot of people have low iron. Eat your brickin'. Eat your brickin', everyone. Dude, you need more D. Everyone needs more D. Hey, Seaside, what's up? You got both? Yeah, and there's a lot of both too. And one of the reasons why there's a lot of both, fun fact, is because what's it called? When you're low in a lot of vitamins, sometimes it can affect testosterone, and not just men have testosterone or need testosterone. So it can affect testosterone and other hormones when you're low in vitamins, and it can be a cascade effect where if you're low in one vitamin and have a deficiency, it can affect the absorption of other vitamins. So even if you're having enough might not get absorbed. So there are cascading situations there. So vitamin D deficiency and iron deficiency do go hand in hand a lot. I've seen that in a lot of clients who have gotten it tested after I was like, hey, you should check that out. That makes me feel better about being vegan and not deficient. Exactly. Yeah, you can be vegan as long as you know what you're doing nutritionally. Absolutely. My doctor told me iron yesterday, then stole my blood to confirm it. Yeah, they're like, let me take some of that blood and check it out. Multivitamins are no joke, especially with omega-3. Felt so much more energized. Yeah. But just be careful. Hey, Frack, thanks for the follow. Because there can be situations where even if you're taking a multivitamin, you're not getting enough absorbed. So I have had clients come to me and say, oh, it couldn't be vitamin D. I take vitamin D supplement. Or it couldn't be this vitamin. I take a supplement for that. Sure enough, they went to the doctors, got their blood tested. Even though they were taking the actual supplement, it wasn't getting absorbed enough. So they had to super dose vitamin D and super dose other vitamins via doctor's orders, because be careful about that. Not everything's water soluble. And then they had everything come back into line. So you have to definitely like Just because you're having a multivitamin doesn't mean it's all getting in there. So if you do think that something's wrong and you're feeling extra lethargic or anything like that, please go ahead and go talk to a doctor, a professional. I am not a doctor. I am just a fitness person. So, oh, hell, Yomi just gave me a shout out. What's up, Yomi? What's going on? And thanks for the follow, BC. What's going on? What's a good way to help absorb it? Honestly, the best thing you can do for vitamin absorption is don't go too low in your fat in your diet. You need to make sure you have enough fat. Get your sleep, get your vitamin D, get your sunlight, low stress. All the things that contribute to a normal, healthy lifestyle contribute to that sort of thing. So it's the same thing with a fun fact, actually. If you have low testosterone as a guy and you go to the doctors, right? And you'll say, hey, I think I have low testosterone. Let's get it tested. And I want to get on TRT, right? I want to get on testosterone replacement therapy. If you're an older guy and you go to the doctor, they won't just give it to you. The first thing that they'll do very often is check your lifestyle. They'll say, okay, before we give you anything, how are you sleeping? How are you eating? Do you work out? Do you get sunlight? Because all of these things will affect testosterone production. And you might be in a situation where it's actually not like you have medically low testosterone. Your lifestyle just isn't great, and you need to be healthier there first, right? So a lot of doctors will check that before they give you anything. All to say that you want to get those things squared out before you start looking for medical intervention, probably. But it is good to get things checked by a doctor. Absolutely. Hey, Yomi, what's up? Why do you feel like crap? Everything? The answer is everything. Yes, please sleep properly, have a good sleep schedule. Please eat, all the good nutrient groups and stuff like that. Just live in a healthy way if you can and work towards it. Let me take a drink here. And Egg and Shaylong, thanks for the follow. Teehee sleep. Yeah, VTubers out there and online people, teehee sleep is right. And not only teehee sleep, but sleeping at the same time every day to get a better quality of sleep and a better consistency of sleep, and having the same sleep and waking hours consistently, please. Thank you. Sleep, what's that? Very important for you. Listen, if you're trying to gain any sort of muscle or health, you got to sleep first. Please sleep. Mpreg, are you really just going to come in and say that, Kivy? What's up? You've been trying to do better on sleep, I swear. Yeah, sleep's really hard. Hey, Doomsday, thanks for the follow. Sleep is really hard. What I would recommend... Hey, Kira, what's going on? I pretend Sclimbo does not see me at 3 a.m. Well, I don't, because I'm asleep at 3 a.m. Because I go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 6 a.m. almost every single day. Now, debut week, I didn't, because I was being naughty, because I was busy, and guess what? I felt worse. Big fan. Big surprise there, right? I didn't sleep well, and then I felt worse. People say it all the time, but you will be surprised. Like, when you actually get out to exercise and sleep well, you're going to be mad about how much better you feel, and you're like, ew, everyone was right. Ew. I hate that. My 3 a.m.s are 6 a.m. Oh, true, yeah, when I get up at 6 and see you online. That's right, I forgot about that. That's when you're supposed to sleep for 4 more hours. Well, don't get me wrong. You don't have to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. Just make sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours consistently and having the same sort of sleep and waking times. But sleeping more is hard. You really have to, cut it off at a certain point and prepare for sleep. So a couple sleep hygiene things people have talked about before. Things like, don't look at your screens right before bed. Don't get hyper excited right before bed. So it might not be the best thing to be playing, in like a hyper competitive, sweaty, competitive game and then immediately try to go to sleep right afterwards. Maybe stop that game 45 minutes before bed and like relax with some music or a book or something like that to ease yourself into sleep. Get out of bed. Don't stay in bed rotting if you can. You want to associate your bed with just sleep, not hanging out. That's another big thing for hygiene. So I do get mad at how effective exercise is. I only get migraines when I don't sleep properly. Yeah, no, there's a lot of things. Like, I cough when I don't sleep properly. Like, whenever I get bad sleep, I feel like I have a cough. And it's not sickness. It's just every time I get bad sleep. Shouldn't be playing League before bed? Probably not. Just give a little bit more space between League and bed, maybe. But yeah, sleep hygiene important. Okay, so I found this one. This one's really funny because the censored word here is steroids. But if you click open censored words, it tells you to sign up for premium. So you can't look at bad words on Marshmallow unless you pay money. That's kind of funny, honestly. Okay, bro. That's all right. I know what that means. Let's talk about it. This is a good question. Eroi. Yeah. No bad words unless. Only if it makes you so mad you just fall asleep from anger. Yeah, you just pass out from anger like a primate or something like that. All right. Question 1. Oh, is this a multi-part? I only see question 1. So question 1. There's a prevailing dislike towards enhanced lifters in the lifting community, which is to a degree understandable, but often goes too far. Do you, as a natural lifter, look down on enhanced people? For those who don't know what enhanced means, that means steroids. I feel like the hate towards steroids is partially a natural self-confidence issue, partially the valid fear of side effects, but the hate is often directed towards not the substance, but the user. The abundance of natty or not videos, for instance, which sometimes look like a harassment campaign. It is a multi-layered issue, so there's a difference between a teenage steroid user and one who's in their 30s and reached their natty limit, but still I'd be interested in your general opinion. Artemis, thanks for the follow. Also, if a substance with effects comparable to stronger steroids, but no side effects were available, would you take it? Good question. Good question. Okay, so personal opinion, I don't dislike enhanced lifting. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I wouldn't do it, but I don't have any problems with people personally. The only people I do have problems with, like you kind of said, is people who jump on gear or jump on steroids right away as a beginner who haven't been in the space for a long time and found out their actual limits. Because the thing is, when you start lifting, you're effectively on steroids anyway. Your body isn't adapted for exercise. You're going to gain muscle at the rate like you were on steroids. You do not need steroids, especially if you're at teenage levels of testosterone and puberty and stuff like that. You're going to grow like a freak regardless. You don't need it. It's a waste, honestly. Bishop Ringtail, thanks for the follow. So it's like, that sucks, right? Because kids don't know what they're doing. They don't know what it's going to do in the future to them. It's dangerous. They're going to have a lot of side effects. It's not healthy. It's a really bad idea to do when you're young. Now, that being said, there are people who, for example, as you point out here, they have lifted for 12 years, 15 years. They've done it seriously the whole time. They're in their 30s. They've hit their natural limit, and they still decide that they want to go further. They want to leave humanity behind. They want to cut down their lifespan. They know the risks. They're old enough and mature enough to make that decision for themselves, and they're like, I want to do it. I don't have any problem with that at all. I think that's cool. The one thing I will say, and a part of the valid hate and the natty or not campaign stuff, is never, ever should anyone dare misrepresent if they're on it or not. Hey, Command, thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. I don't think I'm low T, but I'm an old ass man. How fast should I be setting up my speech to a doc to get T? Listen, I'm of the opinion. Listen, TRT is not a very large dose. TRT just makes you young again. I tell this to my dad too. I'm like, listen, if I went to the doctor ever, I don't care what age I am, and my testosterone was low and I was already living healthy and it was actually medically low test, I'm jumping on TRT right away, because they give it to you in doses that don't really have a lot of sides besides having to be on it all the time, but it just makes you feel like you're 18 again. It's just kind of makes you better. So right away, if you have low T, is my personal what I would do. Hey, Pegasus Witch, what's up? Hello, welcome. Are there car horn noises sometimes in Sklim's BGM? I don't think so. I have stretch marks from muscle growth when I was a teen. Same, actually, Zut. Same. I do too on my biceps. When you make it sound cool, listen, personally, I'm kind of interested, like, I'm not going to do it, but I like the idea of, like, leaving humanity behind in a way, like, and being like, I want to be the best at something. Like, I respect that. I just wouldn't do that. Whoa, Visha, thank you for the 500. You're from Yomi's chat, and she told me about the Sklimvolution chart. How do we get Busty Boy Sclimbo? I don't know. I guess you'll just have to interact and then see if it works out that way. Maybe if we talk about being busty, I'll evolve that way. A hype train started. Wait, there's a bits hype train? Is that real? You specifically do not have low T, though then you don't need TRT. Significant difference in health impact between older person on TRT and 20 times physiological level from something like Tren. Absolutely, right? Super dose of exogenous steroids is very different than TRT. But TRT will just make you young again, effectively, and feel young again. Everything, like, TRT is really cool, I think. What should be the priority if you do have low T? Lose weight if overweight, or go on TRT? I would say lose weight, sleep well, get outside, make sure all your vitamins are optimized, and then if it's still the case, then you go on TRT, you know? That's what you do. That's what you do. Ooh, someone gifted. Thank you for the anonymous gift to Busty Naturals. Damn. All right. I see how it is. Thanks for the gift to Busty Naturals. How about a Dog Boy Sclimbo? If I say Dog Boy Sclimbo a lot, will you evolve into Dog Boy? Yeah, I guess if you repeat it enough, Shriver, then it might happen. I don't know. But to answer the question, I do have very nuanced opinions on this. So I think it's kind of cool. Personally, I would never do it. It's unhealthy, but I respect the people who are like, I am going to be the best and strongest and biggest person in the world. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. The biggest bodybuilder in the world and the strongest people in the world are all on steroids. There are way more people on steroids than you think. Most of the fitness industry is on steroids. that is not an exaggeration. Most of the fitness industry is on steroids. Most of the competitors are on steroids. That's why there's natty leagues and quote unquote untested leagues. The untested leagues, I guarantee you, everyone there is taken. Because that's the point. That's the point without saying it, right? So that's why there's natty leagues and untested leagues. But yeah, at the top level, everyone's doing that. And the unfortunate thing these days, and I think one of the reasons why enhanced lifters get a lot of hate, and I do think this is somewhat fair, is there is unrealistic expectations now. People do not understand what a natural body looks like because so many people on Instagram and on TikTok get on steroids when they're young and get these insane bodies that you could never, ever replicate. Like, people, look, here's a good example, right? I'm going to show you something. This is actually a good example. Let me pull something up here. I'm going to show you what bodybuilders and strongmen looked like back in the 1920s before steroids were invented. 1920s bodybuilder. I'm going to show you what people look like before steroids were invented, okay? And you're going to go, oh, that's just a normal person. And I'm going to say, no, these are incredibly muscular people who are natural, right? So here's a few examples. Here's a few examples. I put my hands up. Check this out. This is Eugene Sandow. Look at him, right? You've probably seen people who look like this. He was a strongman or a bodybuilder, I forget which one, but one of the top in the world, right? Look at him though. Looks like a normal human being. He's not a muscle freak, right? Look at this. Classic bodybuilding. Do these people look, you know, crazy? These are natural bodies. This is what a natural body can get to. And there are examples of people who are, you know, naturally genetic freaks and stuff like that, but these are strong men. Look at these guys. They don't look unrealistic. They look like normal human beings. Like the idea, this idea that like, you know, these super roided out freaks and stuff is attainable natty is like, no, it's not. This is normal. This is before steroids, you know? They look strong as hell, and they are, and they're very muscular and they're very healthy, but they're not freaks. Just bring up the comparison pic of Hugh Jackman in X2 versus Hugh Jackman as Wolverine now. Yeah, but this is my point, right? It's like we have lost the sauce on what a realistic natural body is because so many people are on steroids that we've just completely lost the sauce on it, right? And that's part of the problem is because of these expectations, people, it's kind of like the whole body image thing with like teenage girls in fashion magazines and stuff like that. Same idea, right? They think it's normal, they think it's natural, and that if they're not achieving that, they're losing. And so how do you achieve that? You hop on steroids. And that's motivating a lot of the steroid use nowadays, which is getting worse and worse. So I think that side of it is justifiably wrong. That side of it is never misrepresent if you're on it or not. I have no problem with people who take it, but an enhanced lifter should never, ever, ever try to pretend like they're natural. And honestly, I think enhanced lifters should say actively that they are enhanced. I don't think they should even make it like up to, you know, interpretation. I don't think they should say nothing. I think they should even just say that they are enhanced because there's a lot of people selling programs out there. There's a lot of people selling basically lies that you too can be like this, and all they're doing is taking steroids. Chia Bun, thanks for the follow. And it's interesting too, because you'll see a lot of it where like some people are taking this stuff and don't know how to work out. Like their workouts aren't very optimized and not very good, and their like actual workout plan kind of sucks. It's just that they're taking so much steroids, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I think it's cool that they exist, and I think there are times where people can make the proper mature decision to go on them. But yeah, I think it's almost good that it's demonized to an extent, and I think we should be more open about. I think it should be okay to say that you take it, and that's respected. But I think we should be more open about saying who. Now, I get what you're saying about harassment camp, right? Where people are trying to guess if people are natural or not and stuff like that. Like, is this possible natural? And they're taking angles and stuff. People are going to do that regardless. And it's unfortunate. I don't think it's great. You know, doing a natty or not or something like that, unless it's like someone straight lying to your face, you know, like Ronnie Coleman is a good example, right? Where Ronnie Coleman was claiming he's natural, he just eats a lot of cornbread. Yeah, all right, buddy. Ooh, we got a mega consume emote. Topical, very topical, mega consume emote. Hey, thanks for the bits. Got to bring up the pic of Bob Peoples back as well. All natty, all he ever did was deadlifts. Dude was incredible, one of my fitness heroes. Yeah. I think a lot of them aren't open about it because it's illegal. That's true. And a fun fact, in like, I think like Norway or Finland, you can get put in jail for being too jacked, because if you're, I think like the police are allowed to question you. So you can be so big that the police will question you. And then if they catch you with steroids, they can put you in jail. So you can literally, there's a jail, there's a muscle jail in one of those countries. where the police can question you if you're too jacked, which is really funny. The amount of male actors, models who say they're naturals, killing the confidence and ego of men who aren't in the know. Very bad for men's health. Yes, and Hollywood in particular is a joke. Black Cat Astral, thanks for the follow. Hollywood in particular is kind of a joke with this, honestly, because I'm gonna tell you about a series you should watch. If you are interested at all in fitness, Renaissance Periodization, Dr. Mike Israetel has a video series where he will basically critique the workouts of celebrities and stuff like that, right? Where they show off, because like Men's Health magazine will do like, whoa, how did Hugh Jackman get jacked for this role? Celebrity workout, right? Watch those videos, because you're going to find out something really, really funny, which is those Hollywood personal trainers have no idea what they're doing. They have the stupidest ideas, the stupidest exercises. Nothing makes sense. It's all scientifically inaccurate. They're doing joke exercises and then slipping their clients steroids. And that's why they're getting so jacked so fast. And then not talking about it. But a lot of Hollywood actors are jumping on steroids to get fit for roles and stuff like that and then lying about it. And the trainers oftentimes don't know what they're doing, but have access to that sort of thing. So it's a really informative video series, because you'll kind of watch this, you know, exercise scientist who trains some of the US Olympic team and stuff like that, look at these routines that these, you know, people are doing in Hollywood and going, what the hell? So yeah, definitely they don't know what they're doing in Hollywood, and it's a little misrepresentation, but that's Hollywood for you, right? But very good question, very nuanced as well. Sorry to yap, but I have big opinions on that one. Big opinions. Oh, but the second part of the question, if something didn't have side effects and just made me steroids, yes, I would take it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to be huge. Steroids and movies, they will dehydrate to get their muscles to be super defined. Yeah, and lighting, of course, which is a big deal. Some people might not even really be aware what they're taking because they just trust the trainer. Oh, totally. Yeah. No, absolutely. The trainer will be like, oh, here, take this. And they have no idea. They're taking like a pill, you know, for something. So they might just think it's a normal supplement. That can happen on sports teams too for teenagers, actually. I've heard stories of that before too, where like coaches, football coaches in high school are like, oh yeah, take this. It'll make you better at football. And they're actually just giving them steroids. Controversies about that back in the day. Stuppy is Tuppy. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Next question. Another nuanced one. Have you heard of the Eat Lancet Planetary Health Diet? I'm curious on your opinion, as it was being expanded upon as recently as last month in October. Notable parts include the limiting of chicken to 1 thigh every other day. How could you? 1/3 of an egg a day, drinking a cup of milk every day, and the promotion of seed oil, specifically the breakdowns on Wikipedia. Okay, yes. So the Eat Lancet Planetary Health Diet. I have heard about this before. I've looked into this before. More nuanced opinions. This diet is a diet that is trying to reconcile environmental, like, health with personal health. So that already has a conflict of interest, right? Where it is not going to be the best diet for the human body. It's going to be the best diet for the human body that is also best for the environment. But I will point out, this diet isn't the most scientific studies-wise in terms of how it's based. There are a lot of interests involved with this diet. Not to say that most diets don't have interests. I'll tend to think of it this way, right? If somebody tries to sell you a certain diet with certain foods in it and certain foods excluded from it as a whole, there generally is a motive there. Often, right? Whatever type of diet it is, sometimes there are financial interests tied up in it. That's oftentimes why I like looking at cultural diets instead of specific diets, right? So something like Atkins, for example, definitely has money tied up in it. But if you just say the Mediterranean diet, the diet that people in the Mediterranean tend to eat because of their environment, because of what they have access to, that is a diet that doesn't really have a lot of ulterior motives behind it, I would say. So it's like way safer to look at something like that than something like this, where it's like there might be a reason why they're pushing this sort of diet, right? So this diet in particular, what it recommends is a lot of fruits and vegetables, which is really good, and then mostly grain. So it's grain, fruits and vegetables being the vast majority of your calories, with seed oils, which are fine. Nothing wrong with seed oils, actually, in my opinion. But yeah, recommending that, and then very small amounts of meat and poultry because it's better for the environment is the idea. I would say that I do not think, now I'm not an environmental scientist at all, but I don't think that human nutrition is worth sacrificing to offset. I don't think the offset's going to be that big and that impactful, but I'm also not an environmental scientist. But I really don't feel, and I might be wrong about this, but personally, and I'm open to being wrong about this, I don't feel like less cows is going to solve the crisis. I don't think that's the make or break, right? Like, I don't think we all die if we continue eating cows, and that will be what tips things over, them farting, right? Or the process or anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong. Hey, Ray, what's up? What's going on? You're back from work? Welcome back, Queen. Let me give a shout out to Ray. Ray, how are you doing? How's your stream? What's going on? Art raid, shout out. But let's see, you're telling me the Liver King was telling lies the whole time? Yes! Somewhat deep in a cut, and I've recently been feeling very drowsy, and so it leads to me to ask the question, when is a good and tactical time to refeed? Honestly, if you're feeling real drowsy, not a bad time. 8 to 10 weeks into the cut is also a really good time. So if you're there right now, go for it. You know, get on that. Well, what's up, Ray? What's going on? You did art? Of course you did art. Art raid. What were you drawing today and how'd it go? We're talking about this diet. So I don't want to like peddle conspiracies or anything like that, but I did look into this diet and like it's complicated, right? Because every nutritional study is funded by someone. So you can't be like, oh, this study was funded by the grain lobby, so you can't trust it at all. It's like, no, every study has to have funding from somewhere. So we should look at the actual data and see if that's correct or not. That being said, Barilla is behind this. Anyway, moving on. No, I'm joking. But no, I will say, like, yeah, this is a diet that is a compromise between world environmental health and personal health, and I am much more going to care about personal nutrition and optimizing that. That being said, a lot of things in the diet that are very reasonable, right? Like, if you were to eat this diet over, for example, the normal diet in the West, it's going to be way healthier for you because you're going to be eating more vegetables, more fruits, a lot of nuts and stuff like that. And even for most people, reducing red meat consumption can be helpful at times, depending on their specific concerns. So, like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best diet ever, I would say. And it is trying to strike a balance between good for the environment and good for you. But there will be some deficiencies because of that. You have to keep that in mind. Xmas commission and a sketch request I drew air grew from a viewer. Excuse me. Nice. Also give my mod egg out. Oh, yo. How do you feel about Big Calendar? I hate Big Calendar. This study was funded by the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. Yeah, I just found it funny that I remember looking at this when I first saw the Eat Lancet diet. I was like, okay, yeah, you know, it's like an environmental diet, a lot of fruits and vegetables. And then it was like, half the plate should also be grains, like pasta. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. Why specifically that? But it's not the cows farting, it's more the changing of mass tracts of land and transporting water, massive uptick in the use of chemicals and fertilizers. Yes, but things that we don't necessarily have to do to have livestock, things that we do, which is unfortunate, right? There's a lot of livestock practices that aren't great, but not things that we necessarily have to do livestock-wise, just efficiency choice. Pasta is good. No, there's nothing wrong with pasta. It's just like, it's real suspicious when a diet says, and you should eat half your calories from like pasta and grains. And you're like, half? Really? That much? Like, they're good, don't get me wrong, but that much? I wonder why. That's interesting. So yeah, it seems like an okay diet, but it is going to cut a balance between environmental and personal health. And I'm going to just, personally, my motivation is I care more about personal nutrition and human nutrition. I don't think that's going to make or break the environment. And so that being the case, I don't think it needs to be something that you do, all to say. But how's the fitness going, though? What weird questions have you gotten? Honestly, just good ones. We've been having a lot of good questions. So I'm having a lot of fun here. We're going through a ton of them. We get so many marshmallows. It's fun to answer them all. Actually, okay, we're coming up on ads soon, but I can do like one more question before we go to ads again. All right, let's see here. Next question. Ooh, another good one. These are all good questions. If you're not eating a pound of butter noodles a day, what are you even doing? Yeah, because like the thing is, the meat reduction in the Eat Lancet diet, the reduction of the meat is not for personal health reasons, it's for environmental reasons. It's not because eating more than that scientifically is dangerous for you or unhealthy for you. It's because it has an environmental impact. That's why it's low, not because of a human nutrition perspective. So that being the case, I care more about that. See you later, Ray. Yeah, get a good rest, Ray. Get your protein. Thanks for coming by, and thank you for the raid. Get your lurkies and stuff like that. Anyway, next up. Actually, we should probably wait for this one because this one I'm going to talk for a little bit again. So let me go to ads right now, and we'll be back in 4 more minutes and continue with the questions. We have a few more coming in, and we will be right back, everyone. BRB. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm going to try and slow my roll a little bit in my voice because I'm dying. Voice is starting to go. 2 weeks, I still need to build that stamina. So I'm going to try and slow the roll a little bit and try and keep more normal here. But thanks for the hydrate, yeah. Do these Sclimbo shirts actually exist? No, not yet. Not yet. They might someday, but not yet. All right, back to it. More questions to get through. And feel free to put things in chat too, if they're like quick, or if you want them to be, if you don't care about them being anonymous. But you can put them in both. Okay, let's keep hustling here. We had a lot to say about those last few, but the rest will be faster. You mentioned junk reps, as in training past what is useful. How do I know what junk reps are? How do I know what number I should target, either for stamina or strength? Hey, Tal, what's up? Thank you for the bits. I made and ate the brick, and I'm a believer now. It's like a chicken nugget, but it's good. Yeah! Listen, all I'm saying, listen, brickin' unbelievers, all I'm saying is that nobody who has had the Brickens, as far as I've seen, has disliked it. Every single person who's tried Bricken messaged or tweeted that they liked it a lot. Everyone. So I'm just saying, listen, I know what the body craves. I know what the body craves. We're all under eating protein. Our body wants it. That's why people like it so much. Listen, just saying, give it a shot. Give it a shot. How'd you discover this? Like 12 years of protein optimization until I left humanity behind and discovered the ideal form of protein. It's a lot, but all right. So junk reps. Okay, say Boku. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Cammy was the most surprising one. Yeah, I know, right? Is there a recipe link for it? No, but it's like, it's just, honestly, it's just take ground chicken and put it in the oven and put some seasoning on top. It's that simple. It's like 350 to 375 for 30 minutes or so. And that's it. Vanilla Knight, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. I don't know why people question the Bricken. Yeah, it's just protein. It's just meat. It's great. Ever looked into or known someone who does pet/animal nutrition? No, I don't, unfortunately, Ursu. Don't know anything about that. Junk reps are a strange concept. Something about Jeff Nippard talking about hitting half reps after failure for science-based gains. I don't care. IDK. Yeah, well, he's talking about partials. He's talking about lengthened partials in like the difficult range, which are useful, but that's not exactly junk volume in the same way. We're going to explain what that is. Curb Specs, thanks for the follow. All right, so just to reiterate, what junk volume is there is a certain maximum recoverable amount of exercise you can do for a muscle within a certain period of time before you start harming your recovery. So junk reps are when you go past that. So junk reps are saying like, hey, my muscle's already going to grow as much as it's going to grow today, and I keep working out. That's what junk reps are. How do you know? Well, unfortunately, it does vary person to person. There's a good guideline that says somewhere around 10 to 20 sets, hard, difficult sets close to failure per muscle group per week is a general range you can think of, right? So take your chest, for example, and say per week, I want to be doing somewhere between very difficult, close to failure, 10 reps or 10 sets and 20 sets. That's probably a fair range where you're not going to start overtraining, but you could even be overtraining at the top end of that. It varies from person to person. Ways to know: if you get weaker over time, if you don't feel like you're recovered over time, your joints start hurting, things like that. Those are good signs you're probably overtraining. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's hard to tell, but 10 to 20 sets that are very difficult per muscle group per week is usually a pretty good guideline. Although there is some new data coming out that has seen benefits, and this is very new, only the last couple of years, that saw benefits with certain muscle groups going even up to like 30 or 40 sets, and it was very confusing, and it looked like it just kind of went on infinitely. But at the best, what we can say right now is you definitely can't do that for your whole body. So maybe you can do that if you're focusing on one specific muscle group. So say, for example, you want to have a few weeks where you're doing a leg focus, and you cut back all your other lifting and focus entirely on doing legs. That might still have a benefit. But yeah, you basically don't want to be going too high. Same kind of stuff with cardio. Yeah, same kind of stuff with cardio. Let's see, what is Ed2? Oh, they're all over the place. Yeah, there's a lot. The Bricken, I'm always happy to say the Bricken again. There's a lot of Bricken. That would be nifty. I want a veggie or fish version. Yeah, the vegetarian version is made by Almontis, and that's called the tofu Bricken. And then you could also do Brork, which is pork Bricken. Take 1 pound. Yeah, there it is. Take 1 pound brick of ground chicken. Do absolutely nothing to it. Toast your oven at 350 for 30 minutes. You can put seasonings on top. You can't put seasonings in it. It's supposed to be efficiency. But yeah, so it's hard to tell. You're going to have to experiment. But if you're getting weaker over time, if you're hurting over time, that's a good sign. And then 10 to 20 being a good range to look out for, basically. Yo, high key Sclimbo, you're one of the you're one of the coolest, most chaotic VTubers. Low key was not expecting your debut to be that beautiful. Congrats on almost finishing 2 weeks of streaming. Can't wait to see what's in store. Hey, me neither. Thank you so much. I'm just glad to be here. I'm just happy to be here. I hope I can be entertaining for everyone and stuff like that. I'm happy to be here. I'm trying. My goal is to try and go full time with things. I'm doing my best towards that goal, and I appreciate everything so much. I hope that like in the same way that you guys are supporting me by watching the stream and supporting Socks, by like, you know, buying the merch and using the codes and stuff like that, I hope I can support you with fitness information. And so it's like a more equal give and take and entertainment and stuff like that, you know. That's my hope. That's what I pray for. All right, moving on. Thank you though. That means a lot, honestly. It's always good to have that sort of reassurance, like, yeah, people like the stuff, you know. Hey Sclimbo, my workout consists of bouldering 3 times a week. Usually the time I go is around dinner time though, and I'm wondering how to best integrate dinner with it. Should I try to have a full dinner beforehand, eat late, or have an extra big lunch or something else entirely? Gonna depend on preference. So personally, eating dinner beforehand could definitely work if you are somebody who can work out on a full stomach. I am, so that would work for me. If you're not, don't do that. Also, same thing for afterwards. If you could eat a late dinner, that also would work really great. That's what I would prefer to do. But if you can't sleep on a very full stomach, that could also be a problem. I would say best practice here would be have your dinner afterwards, as long as it's still okay, sleep after that, right? And have a snack beforehand. So maybe take a little calories out of lunch or a little calories after the big dinner, out of the big dinner, and have like a 200 calorie snack 30 minutes before going bouldering. It'll give you a little bit of energy for bouldering. It'll help keep you full and energetic during it, and then you can have their big meal afterwards. That would be what I would recommend the most, I would say. I always tend to have my last meal well after my exercise is done. So that would be my recommendation. Big time, big time. Next up, what are some easier exercises to do if you're kind of just starting out? I find myself getting really, really tired really fast. Makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. No, please ease into it. Take your time. I always tell people, you got your whole life to do fitness. Ease into it. Even if you're off for a little bit or just getting started, you got plenty of time. There's no rush. So start by walking, start by doing body weight squats, things like that. Start easing into things, right? You know, you can start for just a lap around the neighborhood, then 2 laps, then 3 laps, then 4 laps, and so on and so forth, right? So body weight squatting, things like that, walking, maybe a faster pace on the walking and stuff. Just ease into things. Don't worry. You got so much time to do this, and our bodies are really good adapting to it. It's just like the first time you get on a bike, right? Don't go for 20 mile per hour, 20 mile bike ride the first time you get on there. Just ease into it. Cardio comes very fast. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hey, Malfi, what's up? Sat here with my full sugar soda and chocolate bar. Hey, what's up? Hey, if it fits the macros, ain't no problem. And it's never a problem anyway. I'm not going to try and judge anyone's food. That's one thing I do run into is like, sometimes I'll go out to like eat with my clients and stuff like that, my training clients, and they're always like, oh, well, I can't get this because Sclimbo will judge me. I'm like, no, I'm not on the clock. I'm not going to bully you for what you eat or stuff. If I am, it's because you're a friend and it's a joking thing, right? I'm not going to judge your food or anything like that. I'm just here to help for people who want that sort of help. All right. So no worries. No worries. Listen, I had a chocolate bar this morning. I'm chilling. I had a chocolate bar this morning. I went out to dinner a couple nights ago and I had pudding. Like, come on, we're chilling. We're chilling. Definitely would be amazing to have a recipe though. Have high hopes for the peeps in Discord. Ate a whole packet of Jaffa cakes, like from Stargate, like that. Just do salt, pepper, garlic. Pre-made spices are best. Yeah. All right, what workouts can I do to strengthen my lower back? Ooh, I have a twisted spine, and over the last few years, my sciatic nerve has been tensing up, so I want to get my back a bit more in shape to help with the nerve issue. Thank you, sir. Back's a tough one. Lower back's a tough one. Easy to strengthen. So if you can do it in a range that doesn't hurt, deadlifts and squats are always good here, right? But in a range that doesn't hurt. If your back is already in pain when you're doing those things, don't do it. But ironically, doing them can help strengthen the back. Also, reverse hyper. Look into the reverse hyper and the exercises where you're kind of doing like it's almost like the reverse of a sit-up, where you're kind of bent over a machine folded at the midsection and you're using your glutes to kind of squeeze yourself up into a more upright position. That's really good for lower back as well. Strengthening, you can definitely do that. Getting up and moving more is very important, right? Walking more, squatting more, not sitting down all day if you can avoid it. If you have a sedentary job, try and get a standing desk. That can help a lot for sure with lumbar. Check your bed. Make sure you have a high quality bed. Oftentimes for people with lower back pain, a harder bed is better. That's still, you know, it's still preferenced. Verdict's still out on that one, but harder surfaces tend to be really good for the lower back, for people who do specifically have certain types of lower back pain. For the sciatic nerve in general and sciatica, I would say certain stretches to really look at the IT band in particular and try and stretch out the IT band and look at IT band stretches, because that often can contribute, if it's very tense or not lengthened enough, to sciatic pain. So check that out as well. All those recommendations and more. So really, the nice thing about lower back in particular is there's a lot of lower back pain. It's actually one of the leading causes of pain in the world. We're going to talk about that more later tonight, actually, with Almontes. But there's a lot you can do for it. There's so many angles you can attack this from. So just start attacking it from many different angles, and you might find some improvement somewhere. Would be my recommendation. What areas of the back should you work on if you want to improve posture? I hope that makes sense. Honestly, improving posture does kind of come down to just practicing posture. It's good to strengthen everything around so it doesn't sag. So all the normal back exercises, right? Lower back especially, like we just talked about. So squats, deadlifts, hypers, things like that. But just, you want to just try and in general also correct your posture, because if you continually have bad posture, regardless of how muscular you are, you'll still get tight. And so what's good is to just do a check every once in a while, right? Like set a little alarm, 30 minutes to an hour, and just make sure you're sitting upright and stuff like that. And you're not sagging or shrimping or anything like that. It's the same as with sport specificity, right? If you want to improve posture, work on posture. So yeah, that'd be my recommendation. Just keep an eye on it. Think about posture, try and change it, get up more often, things like that. Turns out there's 54 grams of sugar in a packet of Jaffa cakes. Yeah, there's a lot of sugar and a lot of stuff. Don't look at a full sugar Coke and how much sugar is in there. It's scary. Are you able to give any recommendations for exercises to do while pregnant? Not really, unfortunately. That's a little out of my area of expertise. I talked to a specialist about that. I do know that pelvic floor exercises tend to be very good there. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't give like professional advice on that one, because that's a specialty. That's a specialty. But yeah, I would say like pelvic floor exercises are pretty good there. I've never trained anyone who's been pregnant though. Fortunately, that's not an experience I've had before, so I can't speak to. Coke is like 10% sugar. In fact, most sodas are. Yeah, that's where most of the calories come from. I've got chest and triceps to go do before work. Always good to catch a Sclimbo stream. Good work, everyone. Happy belated Men's Mental Health Day. Happy belated Men's Mental Health Day. The bros out there, keep trucking and have a fun time yakking. Did I say it? Jacking the backs. Add all full sugar soda is just diluted carbonated syrup. Yeah, I haven't been pregnant yet. Yeah, I can't speak for myself because I haven't been pregnant yet. But Jack, all right, that works. Have a good one, Jack. Every time I try working out, it starts out fine for a week or so, but after a while, I start dreading it and keep falling on my routine. Eventually, I stop. What do I do? What mindset should I have to keep consistent? This is, yeah, a really big problem, and this happens very, very often. Honestly, you have to think about fitness as a lifestyle rather than something you dread and do. And the best way to do that is, if you hate doing something, don't do it. And I don't mean fitness in general. I mean the type of thing you're doing to work out. So this will often come up for people who don't like going to the gym, right? Some people might be like, oh, you know, it doesn't feel good for me. I dislike it a lot. I don't have fun. I hate being there. I hate everyone being there. I hate all this stuff. That's fine. Guess what? You don't have to go to the gym. What you have to do is exercise. That doesn't mean you have to go lift weights. So try and find a form of exercise that works for you, whether that be pickleball, walking in the woods, hiking, soccer, sports, right? Anything, playing tag, I don't care, right? Swimming, all of these things, skiing, any sort of thing, try it out and try and find something that you enjoy doing, like bouldering, rock climbing. You don't have to lift weights, because usually when people say this, they're talking about like, oh, I'm tired after work and I don't want to go to the gym because I just had a stressful work day. And they always think that, gee, you have to go to the gym. You have to go to the gym. You don't. What you have to do is be fit. And there are many paths to that. So that's what I would recommend, is like, if you really hate it and you've tried it many, many times and you just can't find anything you like about it, even when you give yourself the freedom to do whatever exercise you want and all that stuff, and you try different times a day and you've tried everything, find a different form of exercise. You don't have to be in the gym. Because, I mean, think about it. Gyms, commercial gyms in the first place, while it is an ancient thing and an ancient practice, that is not where everyone throughout history was getting all their exercise and getting lean from. No, it was different diets and outside exercise and things like that. Gyms as like a cultural movement are a newer thing. Obviously, they were in ancient Greece and stuff like that, and Roman Empire, but like it is more of a modern thing. We don't have to be in there is a good thing to keep in mind, you know? Martial arts is another great one. Absolutely, yeah. It took me 20 plus years to figure out that I hated everything we did in PE, but biking and swimming is great. Yeah, like for me, I actually have the most fun. I don't even enjoy going to the gym as much as I should as a gym guy. I have way more fun if I can play a sport or swim or hike. That is way more fun than going to the gym for me. Like a good example is I hate running, but I like running in the woods. And then while I still hate running, I actually like a hard hike way more than I like a run. Even if the hard hike is way harder. I have more fun running up a mountain than running on a flat surface, if that makes any sense. So just experiment around with all the different forms of fitness because you don't have to be in a gym, would be my recommendation. It's just important to remember that you don't have to do something if you really hate doing it, truly, right? Same thing for optimal exercises. Squats might be amazing. Deadlifts might be one of the best things in the world. You don't have to do them. You don't have to. It's good, and you should give them a shot. But if you hate them and it just doesn't feel good ever, don't do them. There's other exercises. Gyms just became more needed with sedentary jobs. Yeah, exactly. Running is the devil's exercise. Yeah, well, you know. Question is, someone who wants to start going to the gym, how do I get past the mental block or fear of the gym and what my muscles supposed to feel like after a good workout? Oh, we got the hat. What's up? Thanks for the hat. All right, let's see. How do I get over the fear of going to the gym? I think I talked a little bit about it last time, but it's hard to accept, but I would try and keep in mind that most people in the gym are happy to see you there. Like a lot of people in the gym aren't judging in a negative way, they're judging in a positive way, where they're like, this person, like for example, if you're like, oh, I'm really out of shape and I worry about going to the gym, a lot of people, when they look at people like that, they're like, this person is very strong for going to the gym, and like I'm proud of them for being there, is generally how most people I've encountered think about it, rather than saying like, look at that person, right? No one's really doing that. And that's part of like, you know, a lot of people, and there's no good way to say this, right? But a lot of people think that everyone's always thinking about them and everyone's always considering them, and they probably aren't. People have their own lives. Most people don't care about you, like in a nice way, right? In a polite way. Most people don't care about you. They're not thinking about you. They're not judging you. They are living their own lives. It's almost like people, like you're not that important in everyone else's especially random strangers in the gym, in their mind. So they're probably not thinking pretty hard about it. If that helps at all, it's the truth though. It's like most people aren't judging you when you go into the gym, if that helps. But if that still is a problem, right? You can always work out from home. You don't have to go to a gym. You can just get some equipment, work out from home and stuff like that. As for what your muscles are supposed to feel like, when you first start, it will hurt a day or two afterwards. Things will be really tight and all of that, but that is temporary. As you're more consistent, that will go away. But yeah, it's supposed to feel warm. You're supposed to feel warm and kind of like just a little sore, a little tired and stuff after the gym. No pain, especially not sharp pain. That's a good sign that you probably did too much, you did something wrong. But it will be tough in the beginning. The first couple of weeks will be really rough, soreness wise, but then it'll go away with consistency. But yeah, it's tough to say don't worry about it, because that's like bad advice, right? Like it's not actionable advice, I should say, just to say, oh, don't worry about it, no one cares. But that is the truth, and that is a reality about going to the gym, I would say. Let's see. It shows that people are trying. It does, yeah. Like I always say, like, the biggest dudes in the gym are the nicest dudes, because they know, they've been through everything, they know and stuff like that. Let's see. What is this one? I only judge you at the gym if you're like hogging equipment and don't wipe it down. Yeah. If you are doing unhygienic things at the gym, then I'll judge you. But other than that, no. True. No gym bro started out jacked. Yeah, everyone starts as a beginner. Everyone started from somewhere, you know? Another thing is that if you feel like people are staring, it's because humans are instinctually tuned to track movement. Yes. If you look around, people will notice, but otherwise people are locked in their own stuff. Pegasus, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. How you doing today? Let me drink. Yeah, if someone's staring at you in the gym, they want the equipment you're on. That's so true. If anyone's ever looking at you in the gym, it's probably because that's the machine they're going to use next and they're waiting for you to be done. That is the number one. Absolutely number one. Body weight's also underrated. I agree with that, Zine. Yeah, Ben, I agree with that. Body weight is absolutely, for starting out, completely underrated. Body weight's really cool. Calisthenics are really cool. Do you have any tips on low impact cardio workout for someone with a heel spur / plantar fasciitis? A little more medical, so not my expertise, but Zenny Rage, thanks for the sub at tier 1. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good one too. Hope everyone's having a good one, but Let's see. Tips. Well, low impact. So walking in one of my favorites that not a lot of people take advantage of is if you're going to the gym and you have equipment, incline walking. So take a treadmill, put it up to its max incline like you're hiking, and then make it a walking pace. So you're not running and stomping, you're still walking, and it's way, way less impact on the joints and also on the feet. I would say walk not on pavement, but in the woods. That's another one that has a little bit of cushion because of the ground. That would be a good one. And then cardio in general, you don't have to use your feet. You can go in the pool. If you have access to a pool, you wouldn't be using your feet really at all, except for the kick, but not, stepping on anything if you're in the pool doing cardio. So a bike as well, because you're kind of attached to the pedals. So it's also kind of low impact there. So yeah, various ways. You don't have to run. But make sure you get good shoes and inserts. Yeah, that's a good one. Water workout's nice too. Yeah. But you also don't need a lot to have a home gym, just in general, bit of a misconception. You can have a very effective home gym by just having a bench and some dumbbells. That's really all you need to do almost every exercise if you're creative. So yeah. Hey, Sclimbo, currently on a journey to start gaining weight. Yo, let's go. I don't get gain questions that often. It's usually loss. I have an issue with certain foods. However, I want to know what advice or ideas to help with gaining weight on a healthy level. We got a gainer here. Well, hey, good luck. Good luck to you, and very fortunate for you. Depending on what region of the world you're in, congratulations. We're in the holiday season, so you won't have to do much to gain weight because there's going to be a lot of food being thrown in your direction. So my advice for you is eat it. There's a lot of food coming your way. If it's the holidays, have it. That's my recommendation. No, but jokes aside, the best things you want to do. So the big problem people run into in gaining weight is feeling full. And feeling like they don't want to eat anymore, they can't eat anymore. You want to focus on really calorie-dense foods that are still good for you, but that are very small but very dense. That way you get your calories in without actually like eating a lot, right? So examples of this, nuts in general, if you're a nut fan. Peanut butters, any sort of nuts, almonds, pistachios, cashews. Nuts are so calorically dense because they're mostly fat, and fat that's good for you at that. So eat a lot of nuts. Bowl of nuts next to your desk, chew them throughout the day. They'll get you easy. Another one, just put more oils in the food that you're eating. So especially olive oil, things like that. Add like an extra tablespoon of olive oil to your cooking, right? Whether you're making meat or making pasta or something like that. Just add a little more oil. Remember, tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories. So it's really easy to add there. Dark chocolate is another good way. That's actually pretty good for you. Very, very high cocoa level dark chocolate. That's very dense in calories, but not very big. So yeah, you want to focus on that sort of thing. And then, worst comes to worst, you can dirty bulk. I wouldn't recommend it, but worst comes to worst, fast food is there for you. Fast food is there for you to be cheap, not filling, and have a lot of calories. So I wouldn't recommend it, but it's there. And a lot of people do employ that, The thing is, like, the world, depending on where you live, but I will say the Western world is designed around you gaining weight. So luckily, you are kind of in tune with culture when you're trying to gain weight, right? You're in a zone where you can do the things that people are doing normally, and it works, rather than having to fight against it. Peanut butter is your best friend when trying to gain. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nuts are calorically dense. Olive oil and foods, dark chocolate. Yep. Fast food being cheap nowadays depends on where you go, because there's a lot of things that are quote unquote fast food and processed food that are cheap from grocery stores, not from fast food places. So like, you don't have to get an $8 burger at McDonald's, but if you go to the grocery store, you might find like, I don't know, cereals or something like that are pretty dense in calories that are only $1. So yeah, but nuts are the big one if you want to be healthy about it. Let's see here. Oh, hey, what's up? I love my raid notification. What's up, Azaret? What's going on? Thanks for the raid. How you doing? How was your stream today? And Nwiper, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. And thanks for the bits, Flamebird. Eat 2 brickens instead of 1. Well, another thing you can do is, as long as you don't have like a super high cholesterol or something, you can absolutely look for fattier cuts of meat too. That's another thing you can do. Let me make sure the shout out is correct there. Nice. There you go. Spend space and time to bring us here. Ready for a little chaos? Yeah, I'm ready always. But yeah, you can always go for like a little fattier cuts of meat. So like chicken thighs instead of chicken breast, or maybe like 80-20 beef instead of 90-10 beef or something like that. Just be careful about the consumption on the saturated fat side, especially if you have high cholesterol. Be very careful about that. But that is another thing you can do. Yeah, like for as many swaps as there are about making things lower calorie, there are that many swaps about making it higher calorie as well. So there's always tricks you can add to things. Just, adding things, sneaking them in is what you're going to want to do there. But like I said, it is the holidays. So if your goal is to gain weight, have fun, enjoy yourself. Oh, and actually, PSA, this is a good time to bring it up because it's holiday related, because I was going to talk about this real quick. So PSA for the holidays, a little tip for the holidays for everybody. Dieting during the holidays, cutting during the holidays. It's tough. It's really hard. Food is put in front of you all the time. Here are my tips, right? Number one, if you are trying to lose weight during the holidays, consider maintenance a victory. Because so much food is put in front of you, because there's so many celebrations, because most people gain the majority of their weight during this holiday season, you will win if you stay at maintenance, okay? So what I always tell my clients is, if we're trying to cut through the holidays, maybe don't. Do you really need to cut for something? Like, unless you're going for a competition or a photo shoot or some big event like a wedding or something like that, and that's why you're trying to lose weight, you can probably put off your cut another few months. You can probably say, hey, you know what? I'm 30 pounds down. I don't need to be 50 pounds down in the next month or so. Let's just stay where I'm at now and enjoy myself a little bit for the months, right? We should still enjoy life. So it might not be a bad idea to go to a maintenance phase during the holidays and say, give myself a little more calories, give myself some of that allowance, and just consider maintenance a victory if you're cutting. You really only need to cut during the holidays if you're doing it for like a deadline, right? So I'd recommend like don't almost, unless you're really locked in. And if you're locked in, a couple other tips, right? Choose your battles. Pick your battles. We have the holidays coming up. There's going to be a lot of, office parties, friend celebrations. You have Thanksgiving and Friendsgiving. You might have Christmas Eve. You might have a bunch of Hanukkah things. You might have Christmas Day, New Year's. Pick your battles, right? Just because we're going in the holidays, that doesn't mean every day is a holiday. Look at your calendar, know the days that you have parties, prepare to enjoy yourself for those days, but that doesn't mean you should be overeating the day before or the day after. No, get back on your schedule. Enjoy the day, plan for the day, but jump right back on the horse. Don't let a cheat day on Christmas become a cheat week on the Christmas week. And that is one of the best things you can do to try and stay within a diet during the holidays. So for example, if I were to look at my upcoming schedule, what do I have? Between now and the end of the year, I have a Friendsgiving party that's going to be on this Saturday. Actually, I have like 40 people coming over. And that's going to be this Saturday, Friendsgiving. I have actual Thanksgiving on the Thursday, the next week, Thursday, right? And then if I really think about it, the next big event that's going to happen isn't until Christmas Eve. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of parties in December. Absolutely. Hey, Apollo Bugman, thanks for the follow. What's up, Bugman? What's going on? How you doing today? But that doesn't mean we have to eat a lot at all of them, right? So like if there's a friend party in there, maybe, but for me, Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, that's 4 days. So those are 4 days where I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to enjoy myself. But that doesn't mean I need to be going crazy on the 26th of December or the 22nd of December or the 21st of December. So pick your battles is my recommendation, and pick a few of them. But mind the amount of alcohol you're consuming. Yes, alcohol, very high in calories for very little benefit. So definitely keep that in mind. Tactical, thanks for the follow. Doing sausage and gravy today. Yeah. Not doing things you don't enjoy is kind of good advice. Even just eating with a smaller plate can trick your mind. Exactly. Don't go to any party. Yeah. Also, here's a tip from me. Don't stand next to the charcuterie like I do. I'll usually, during Christmas, just stand next to the charcuterie and eat like half of it solo. So don't do that. That's a bad one. But here's the thing. You just have to think about the overall mindset. I know I'm hitting it like it's over and over again, like it's like a broken record, but just keep in mind always that we're in no immediate rush in most cases, right? Fitness is a lifetime, and it should be a part of your lifetime forever. And that being the case, we can afford to chill for a month or two and go to maintenance instead of trying to aggressively cut during the holidays. Why deprive ourselves of a really good time when we don't have to? Would be my general recommendation. So consider maintenance a victory. That would be one of my holiday tips. Hello, what's up, Philip? What's going on? You're the GOAT, bro, but I keep missing your streams. No problem. I'm here for you. 12 p.m. EST on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, usually. My schedule is always out on Discord and Twitter and stuff like that every week on Sunday. But thanks for coming by. Yeah. Spirits and cooking oil generally have the same caloric amount. Did you know a salami and Colby though? How can I not? Yeah, I'm gonna be having it like this weekend. In a couple days, I'm having it. I know what it's like. You should see my Friendsgiving food list. I considered putting it on stream, but we have a lot of people coming and it's a potluck, so everyone brings something. Oh, we have like 2 full turkeys that are brine cooked. We have like 2 mac and cheeses, 2 mashed potatoes, 5 desserts. Like, oh, it's gonna be a mess on Saturday. It's gonna be brutal, but I'm planning for it. I'm going to lower my calories a little bit in the days beforehand. I'm going to try not to eat too much that day until the actual party. I'm going to pace myself. And oftentimes, like, keep in mind, especially when there's a very wide variety of food, it helps sometimes to focus on trying a little of everything than one of something. So what I find is, like, say there are cookies out. Someone might have 3 or 4 cookies, but then they also want to try the pasta, and then a cake comes, right? Oh, they want to try that too. So just have a sampler of everything, right? Try a couple pieces of charcuterie, have one of everything, but a little bit of everything. That way you feel like you're not missing out, right? And you can always bring your own substitutions. If you're really locked in and you really, really want to stay on a cut, just bring your own food to the party. People might judge you a little bit for it and make fun of you, but you can always just rib them a little bit back, right? And be like, yeah, I'm locked in, you know, I'm having fun. Yeah, I have no self-control at parties either. I plan for it to be a bad day. like I plan for it to be a day that goes horribly awry and I have like 6,000 calories. But then I forgive myself and say, you know what though? That's like, it's like 3,000 extra calories. I'm back in a week. It was a day of fun. I'll be back to where I was before in a week of being normal, and then just, you know, don't repeat over and over and over again. So always try and make a cheat day or a cheat meal just a cheat day or just a cheat meal and not a cheat. My recommendation. Bring your travel brick and do bring your travel brick, and that is a good recommendation. Yeah. How can I stop you before you achieve your horrible Eldritch final form? You can't. Nothing you can do about it. It's happening. No, I actually, listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what I'm going to evolve into yet, because like I said, that's influenced somewhat by you guys. So I don't know what I'm going to evolve into just yet either. It's a bit of a mystery. Should you ease back into exercise after getting sick, or is going back to the normal routine fine? Depends on length. If you've been sick for a couple days and you're recovered, you can go right back into normal routine. If you've been sick for like 2 weeks or a month, you're going to want to ease back into things. And also be very careful in general easing back into exercise after having been fit before, because that is where a lot of injury comes from. A lot of injury comes from people who were jacked or were really high athletes and stuff like that, and then they take a little break and think they can go right back into it, and then immediately hurt themselves because they didn't ease back into things. So take it easy. You can afford, just like we were talking about with the food, right? You're not going to die if you don't lift your maximum amount day one going back. Ease into it. Take a half of a week to ease back into things. It's safer. You're not racing towards anything. Just have patience and get into it slowly. Would be my recommendation. I'm pushing 40, have little to no fitness history, and have been trying to build my stamina for an end goal full Appalachian through hike. Any advice? Ooh, all right. Honestly, get used to hiking. If you're going to go for an Appalachian through hike, couple tips. You're going to want to figure out where you're mailing your food ahead to, because oftentimes on the AT, on the Appalachian Trail, or any sort of long trail like that, you will mail your food ahead and pick it up as you go at mailboxes basically along the way, when you stop at the towns and stuff like that. So prepare for that. Make sure your pack's not too heavy. You might want to consider like not an ultralight because it's such a long hike, but like, you know, definitely do a lot of testing. You're going to want to do a lot of hikes that are smaller, a lot of day hikes, couple day hikes, week hikes even. But the big thing about this fitness wise is your best bet practicing for the Appalachian Trail is to practice hiking. So hike more. That's going to be the best possible thing you can do to get good at hiking is hike. So same thing I was saying with sports specificity before. My words, sorry, we're yapping this stream. But to get better at hiking, hike more. That's the number one recommendation. So if you can't, like if there's nowhere around you where you can hike, you would want to go to a gym and do things very often like the Stairmaster or incline walking on a treadmill. That's going to get you prepared for that as well. But distance is going to be what you're looking for. And obviously check your pace, right? Don't go crazy. You're going to want to say like, all right, you know, 10, 20 miles a day or something like that. I don't really know a good like day hike pace for the AT, but look into that and just make sure you don't overwork it either, and just take your time for it, because that's a really big goal. It's a really impressive goal, but train in the exact sport itself to get the better at that is what. Gap mode never off. True, Fizz. True. It's humbling to go down in weight. I know how it feels. Yep. Slow and steady wins the untorn ligament. So true. Listen, I've lost years of progress so many times, but I'm just not sweating it because I know that I have a whole lifetime ahead of me. Like I've been lifting for many years, but I would say a good 8 of those years, I was just spinning my wheels and I wasn't doing it very professionally or very like intensely or anything like that. And yeah, that was wasted time in a way, but like, you know, things happen, right? I got Lyme disease. I couldn't walk. I had an injury recently, but you get better and then you get back on the horse. And overall, over a lifetime, you're going to be in a better place. Would be my recommendation. No, just take it easy. We're chilling. We're chilling. And remember, low stress also helps your gains. So try and stay not too stressed out. Happy we're better now? Thank you. It's actually a recent injury. I'm going to feel bad at MagFest, honestly. I'm going to MagFest on my own, not with like SVA or anything like that. And I'm going to feel bad because I'm not in peak form because I'm coming off of an injury and I was preparing for VTubing and stuff. So I'm not as big as I feel like I normally am. And yeah, but it's what it is. It's what it is. I unfortunately had an injury that made me not able to do most lifts. So I was like, what can you do? Do you have strong opinions on walking, running without shoes on non-level terrain for foot health? Not knowledgeable on the subject, but I assume that since shoes force you to rotate your ankle to stand on non-level terrain, it could strain your ankle. Is this a reasonable concern? That's a lot of like minutia, I would say. Like there's a lot of optimization in there. I would say walking without shoes probably would make you a little better at balance in some ways. There's probably some minor muscles that might get worked out there. This is kind of the same philosophy of thought as like the 5-toe shoes and sandals and stuff like that. It's something I'm interested in, but I've never looked into myself. And I do want to try it, but I've never really looked into it myself. I do think that, like, objectively speaking, we were born without shoes and developed without shoes. So not having shoes probably shouldn't be that bad for us. Right? Like shoes protect us against danger in the environment, but if you're like in a controlled situation, it's probably okay to walk around barefoot. I don't think that's going to hurt you long term at all. I'm not very knowledgeable specifically on that subject though, but I'm interested in it. I definitely, like, if I knew anything about it, I would put up like sandals on throne or something, like 5-foot shoes just to test it out. But I will say, as a side, thrones hard. I was thinking about making a joke about this, but like I look at other people's thrones and it's all like, you know, really well thought out accessories and cute things and like a bunch of intelligent decisions, and mine's just like soup and camping supplies. It's hard to have a throne when you don't like want a lot of stuff, you know. But I threw some sweatpants on there recently, re-upped it a little bit, you know. These streams have been inspiring. Art and animation, we're sitting a lot literally after work. We'll think, what would Sclimbo do? Yeah, adventure noises. Yeah, exactly. Just keep working on it, right? We got a whole lifetime. Keep working. Just get on the horse and stay on it. Are you going to go see the Proto Men? I'm much more interested in Crush 40. Crush 40 is the one I don't want to miss at MagFest. That's the big one. We were also born naked. Yeah, that's why I don't wear clothes, Flamebird. That's why I don't enjoy clothing. I'm not a fan of clothing, all right? I'd walk barefoot everywhere if I wasn't worried about parasites and stuff. Yeah, no, I don't walk barefoot very often. I did a lot as a kid, though. I did a lot as a kid. And I'm interested in the idea of the 5-toed shoes. There's a throne for Bricken. I mean, technically, yeah, there is Bricken on my throne. But it's just like, it's a number. It's like a Bricken fund on the throne. But the sweatpants are the new edition. What are your maxes on SBD? I'm a newish powerlifter and was curious if you lift for numbers or more on the bodybuilding side. Honestly, neither these days. By the way, wait, hold on. SBD. Oh, squat, bench, deadlift. I've never seen it phrased that way. I was like, SBD, what is that? Honestly, I don't powerlift anymore. I was more on the powerlifting side than the bodybuilding side, but I was never chasing big numbers. I was always just interested in kind of being big and being healthy, and especially now, more as I get older. I had a good bench. That was about it. My squat and deadlift weren't super interesting. You know, I could at max deadlift above 400, at max squat like 350, 365. My best bench was above 300. But I was never really competing, interested in that, or chasing numbers or anything. I just liked fitness in general. And nowadays, especially, I'm kind of more interested in like a medium sort of thing where I'm not really powerlifting or bodybuilding. I'm more interested in general mobility, calisthenics, and just like a good muscle mass these days. But I'm kind of easing into being older now. Like I'm easing into the idea of like, I don't have anything I really want to chase anymore. So I'm kind of easing into like they let it become background noise sort of thing, where I'm still actively doing it, but I won't have like a specific goal besides like maintaining a certain lift or maintaining a body weight. I think I'm probably done with chasing numbers. We'll see though. Maybe I get a little older, because you're never too late. Maybe I get a little older and I want a 400 bench or something. We'll see. But yeah, nothing crazy. The thing is, I always tell people, right, is like, I train other people. I am not the strongest person in the world or the biggest person in the world. I'm fit, but I train other people. That's my interest. So I train the person who's the strongest in the world, you know? I love lifting too. Will continue to do so for as long as I'll hold out. Exactly. Daily floor press is done. Woo! Good to hear, Liz. Nice. 300 bench. I'm very proud of the 300 bench. I'm very proud of that. That was something I was chasing for a while. Have you experienced... Oh, and I will say, it was a very honest 300 bench too. It was a super honest 300 bench. It was a 300 close grip, no arch bench with no bounce. It was a super honest 300 bench. So like, you know, if we added an arch in there and then like less range of motion because it was really wide or something, I don't know, who knows where it was, but I was a close grip bencher always. So you take people to a goal you probably won't get to. Yeah, well, because I don't, you know, I like training other people and I like seeing people gain confidence from lifting and change their body how they want to. I already did that. You know, I've already done that. And obviously there's places I want to be still and I want to get better for sure, but I'm much more interested in helping other people too. Have you experienced body dysmorphia because of lifting? Yes, I think most lifters do. Do you think today's fitness influencer culture is a good thing as it makes information more accessible, or a bad one because it makes people believe they're never good enough? Mixed bag. Very important question, but mixed bag. I think a lot of people get body dysmorphia these days, especially because of influencer culture. Because like I said before, a lot of people are on steroids and lying about it, or saying that something is attainable that's supernatural, right? That's like super genetic levels of optimization and all that. But at the same time, yeah, there is way more access to information these days. And honestly, like, for as much bad news is out there, I find that most young people these days kind of have a good idea of how to work out properly. Like the type of lifting that got propagated into fitness and influencer culture tends to be more correct than not. Like, it's not the old days where we think circuit training is the best possible thing for muscle building. Like, we know, like, most people these days know about the big three. They know about squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing and getting their protein and all these optimizations and whey and casein, complete proteins versus incomplete. The general knowledge level is way better than it was when I started. And that stuff was still controversial. So I'm happy about that. And there's way more people doing it too, which is great because we need it. But yeah, it also does contribute to that sort of thing. But I think a lot of that is, I just wish people would be more honest. Like the big disclaimer on their stuff that says, I am enhanced. But then there's also a lot of natty icons you can look at and say like, yeah, this person probably is natty. But it's important to just like, it's kind of like why I like science-based lifting and the scientific studies and stuff like that, because regardless of how big someone is, if that information is true and tested, it's something you can rely on, I think, which is really useful. I'm a pre-diabetic who's also morbidly obese, and I've recently started taking Ozempic. My friends say they can see the weight loss on my face, but I've realistically only lost maybe 15 pounds tops. I started 2 to 3 months ago. What would you recommend? Honestly, fat will come from your limbs and your face first. That makes total sense. What's a good amount of weight to lose to keep it safe? Give your skin a chance to stretch back if it's possible. Okay, so if you're very, very, very morbidly obese, the skin situation is kind of inevitable. You will have loose skin. If you're younger, it will be easier for it to come back into shape. Now, with Ozempic, what's happening is your hunger is going to be very suppressed. So Ozempic is a tool in the toolbox, but I would say be careful. And I will caution some things here. It's very good that you're here asking questions for sure, because one of the biggest dangers of Ozempic is that all it does is reduce your hunger so you don't eat as much, right? So if you don't have the nutrition information or the know-how to do that once you're done and be off Ozempic, you either have to be on it for your entire life, or you very often will have a harder time and bounce back because you never learned the nutrition side of things and what's good and what's not. So it's good that you are, because that's one of the biggest like downsides of Ozempic is it doesn't teach you what you need to know, what you will need to know regardless. Doesn't Ozempic have size on muscle mass? Good question, Liz. Probably not. Probably not. So correlation, not causation, I would say. From what I've seen, I'm open to new information about this because Ozempic's still very new and we don't have a lot of studies on it. But it seems to me that the reason why there is impact on bone and muscle in Ozempic, because there are studies that show people on Ozempic have a higher chance of losing muscle mass and bone mass and stuff like that. But to me, and looking into the data, it seems more like that's because people are eating less. Here, put it this way, right? People are often morbidly obese because they don't understand nutrition or they have trouble with it, right? If you take that person and then make them less hungry, they're not going to suddenly learn nutrition. So they're eating less. That also means they're eating less protein and they're eating less nutrients. They're eating less of everything and oftentimes even less of good things. So generally, people are going to become, I don't want to say malnourished, but there's a higher chance of becoming malnourished when all that's controlled is your hunger versus knowing what a balanced diet is, right? It's like it's a cheat code almost. So I think personally, from what I've seen, a lot of the muscle mass degradation and bone density degradation is from a lack of nutrition caused by that suppression of hunger. I don't know if I've seen anything that's independently said Ozempic alone causes this, or I've seen a mechanism to say that Ozempic alone causes this decrease in muscle mass or bone mass. No, it's most likely because of the nutrition side, because people aren't as hungry and they're eating less. So if that makes sense, I think correlation, not causation there, but I'm open to that. But anyway, to answer the question, honestly, I'd recommend if you're morbidly obese, you can stick on it for a while. And if you've only been doing it for like 2 to 3 months, you can eat. The thing with Ozempic is you might even just be able to eat what you want and be in a good place because it's going to suppress your hunger. Thanks for the stretch, Duntum. But you're good to go for a little longer. You can stay, if you're morbidly obese, you can stay cutting for a longer period of time and have a little more of an aggressive cut. Like 15 pounds 2 to 3 months ago, don't get me wrong, that's pretty fast. But at the same time, that beginning bit's water weight. So it's probably not 15 pounds of pure fat. So you're probably good for a while at the pace you're going at, and you can ride that for a bit. I think you're safe there. And that will help with the pre-diabetes as well. So I would say just stay on the course for what you're doing right now for quite a while. And then once you get down even more, depending on how morbidly obese you are, that would be when it's time to start maybe saying like, okay, maybe take a break for a little bit. But yeah, notes. There's a lot here. Fitness can be complicated, but it can also be simple. Let me drink. Any workouts you'd recommend for someone that is or trying to get pregnant? I hear that people recommend more rest than workouts. What if one wants to get a bit more fit before taking that toll on the body? Okay, so if you're not pregnant yet, general fitness, there's nothing special about your body yet, right? So lifting, exercising, thanks for the hydrates, he said. Let me do that again. Lifting, exercising, working out in general. And if you're trying to get pregnant, doing that can also increase your libido, because when you exercise, you feel better. When you sleep well, eat well, you feel better. You have more energy. Sometimes your libido goes up as well, especially if it was already suppressed by like a lack of exercise or diet, or like a vitamin D deficiency, iron deficiency, or something like that. So exercising could, ironically, make you more interested in doing the stuff that would get you pregnant. Hey, so that is the official answer there. Is that what I'm missing? That is the proper scientific answer, I guess I would say. But right now, because you aren't pregnant, any of the workouts that would work for everyone else would be good for you. There's no specific exercise, I would say, to my knowledge, that would help with that. I guess start working on Kegels and pelvic floor exercises for the future. But yeah, I guess you're trying to get ahead of it. But the thing is, you're going to be pregnant for a long time, so you're going to need to do that stuff then anyways. Everyone in chat, do 10 squats right now. Yeah. I'm reasonably active and eat a fairly clean diet with good muscle mass in my upper torso and lower body. My issue is I have a gut and love handles that just refuse to melt off. What do? Yeah, so this one is unfortunate, but fat tends to go from the torso last. That's why everyone is like, I can't get rid of this gut. I can't get rid of this love handle. That is the last bit of fat your body generally likes to hang on to. So it'll go from your face first, your limbs first, and then stay there for a while. So keep cutting. Keep cutting. It will go away. It necessarily will go away. It will just be the last bit to do so. So stay on the diet, stay cutting. It will go away. Trust that will happen. It's happened to other people. It will happen to you. You just have to stay locked in. And if you've already lost a lot of weight already, it might be time to recheck your calories, because don't forget, when you're bigger, when you're carrying around more weight, you're also doing more work every time you move. So when you get leaner, your caloric needs also go down, unless you gain a lot of muscle that also, offsets that, right? But it could be the case that if you've lost a lot of weight, your calories are actually different than they were at the beginning, and you're eating a maintenance right now, and you're not actually still on track to lose weight calorically. So it's good to reevaluate that after you lose a lot of weight and see if it might just need a little extra kick, right? So if you've already lost 30 or 40 pounds or something like that, yeah, your metabolism probably has changed. And it might be time to try and recalculate where you're at, maybe go a little lower if you can, or anything like that. But yeah, check that out. I did 11. Are you proud? Yeah, good job, Duncan. 20. All right, nice. That's what we like to see. Good job. Ooh, some hiccups real quick. I'm a motorsports fan and find the routines and diets that Formula One drivers have planned out by their performance coaches really interesting. I've never even known about this. Have you taken any training methods or diet plans these type of high performance trainers use and integrated them into your own routines or what you teach your clients? I honestly have never looked into routines and diets for Formula One drivers, but I imagine they have a lot of special tech to like have better perception, right? And like, you know, reaction time and things like that. So there's probably a lot of training like that. That's really interesting, actually. I've never looked into that. No, I wouldn't say there's anything I really integrate for my general clients that like high performance athletes do, because I tend to make my routines. The thing is, I train mostly people who are sedentary, who are gamers, and like other VTubers and stuff like that. So I can kind of hit them with like a general plan for somebody who's always been sedentary and hasn't worked out a lot. So any high performance thing tends to be specific to that exact type of sport, right? So something that is important for sports fans may not be as an efficient use of time for us, because I think you also have to keep in mind that like when you're training someone, you often don't have them a lot. You often only have them for 1 day a week or 2 days a week, and you have to do whatever's the most optimal in that short period of time. So I probably don't have time to do hyper specific workouts, but I think that's really cool. And I should look into that, because I've never known them. I don't know what sports people do for training. That's really cool. How should I build up a habit to exercise, and how often should I do it when I start doing it? Honestly, 2 or 3 times a week. And just that's how you build the habit. It takes about 3 weeks to build a habit. As far as habit building goes, I recommend doing 1 big thing and 2 small things at a time. Don't try to do it all overnight. So don't change your entire diet and say you're going to go to the gym 6 days a week and you're going to get up at 5 a.m. and go for a run every day. Don't do that all at once. 1 thing at a time, right? So just start slowly introducing things. Say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, you know, twice this week, or even I'm going to go to the gym once this week and then twice the next week. But 2 to 3 times a week is good if you're doing full body, for weightlifting at least. And that's a good way to get into it and start getting excited about it and have fun with it. This is no squats redeem. I have to do it myself. Yeah, not yet. Weird question, but I've got a mental condition that I can't eat in public, but I'm still gaining weight during the holidays. Even though I work out 3 times a week, any advice you can give me? Yeah, this is going to be definitely a diet thing. So if you're gaining weight during the holidays, even if you can't eat in public, it's because you are over-consuming and under-exercising. Right? So definitely just take a look at everything that you are putting into your body. There's a lot of things that people think often don't count that you should be very aware of. And sometimes it can even be undone by like your living situation, right? So people who live with their parents, or if their partner cooks for them and they don't know what they're putting in it, maybe they're using 3 tablespoons of olive oil because they're not counting, and they're adding an additional 400 calories to every single dish. That's a very likely thing. Maybe it's the drinks, right? Maybe it's the butter. Maybe it's something that's added to your food that you're not aware of or you're not tracking that is causing that deficit to be put away, basically. So it's great you're working out 3 times a week. That's awesome. I would say definitely look at the diet side of things more than the exercise side of things. Can't outrun a bad diet. It's good to know what exactly you're putting in your body. And that would be where I'd attack that from, probably. More specifics would definitely help with this one on like what you eat and how I could help specifically. But that would be my general recommendation. My lips are so dry no matter how much water I drink. Yeah, it can be a problem when it's like really like dry out and cold out. That can be a big one for sure. Okay, that's all the questions we have so far today. I think there was about 1 more topic I wanted to hit. Let me see. Let me look at my list of topics. Oh yeah, one thing I want to talk about really quick. Let me go back to the general gym for this one, because I want to show you all a couple things before we run here. But feel free to get those questions in for next week as well. We're going to put a close on the questions for now, but we will tackle them next week if they're there. Although next week is Thanksgiving on Thursday, so we might do this stream on Friday or Wednesday instead. We'll see. Let me move back over here. And we do want to talk about one more thing really quick, because I think it's just good info I wanted to cover, because I saw a lot of people talking about it. All right, so real quick, let's talk about 0-calorie tricks. All right, we're going to talk about a few secret things to use when you're deep in a cut and you're really hungry and you just want something, and this is how you're going to get it. Lots of great advice to these questions. I'm learning a lot. I'm glad to hear it. All right, check this out. Is it possible they could be more sedentary in the winter months? Oh yeah, no, absolutely. People are mostly more sedentary in winter. I mean, imagine this, right? This is why I'm always like kind of poo-pooing how things are built in the United States for fitness. Because it's like, imagine living in, like I live in New England, right? Where for like 4 or 5 months out of the year, it's super cold as hell and you can't walk anywhere. Yeah, you're going to stay inside. And there's food everywhere. It's really not built for fitness or health, honestly. But all right, let me show you this. So let's talk about some other 0-calorie tricks. These are just things that I employ, or you can employ deep in a cut, that are little ways to sneak things in. First off, when the cut is deep, the chemicals come out. Take a look at your Walden Farms. I talked about these a little bit last week. But this is the number one trick here, right? Pair this with Halo Top ice cream. Pair this with sweets. Chocolate syrup, pancake syrup, caramel syrup. 0 calories, entirely artificial. It won't kill you. It will trick your mind into thinking you're eating this thing. Don't have it alone, but it will trick your mind. So this is a way you can add like a fudge topping to something. Imagine you take the Walden Farms chocolate syrup, heat it up a little bit, put it over Halo Top. You can have an entire pint of chocolate ice cream with quote unquote fudge for 330 calories, right? Incredible thing to do. A lot of people have an extra 330 calories at the end of the day. It's a way to have a big dessert and feel like you're having a big dessert, kind of tricking your brain. Illegal. Yeah, the G. Hughes sauces are really good for this too, bot. You're super right about that. G. Hughes sauces are really good. Another thing to do, right? Swap your meat source. Sausages, bacon. How about turkey sausage? How about turkey bacon? Oftentimes half the calories. An entire bag of pepperoni, for example, that you put on a pizza, usually is around 1,100 calories or like 900 calories or something like that. If it's a package of turkey pepperoni, it's usually 350. And you're going to get 90% of the way there. The cool thing about a lot of swaps of like the high calorie version to the low calorie version is it's going to taste 90% as good, but be half the calories. And that's a pretty good value proposition ratio wise. You know? What if we work before any gym nearby opens up? Like you're done with work? I would say do it after work if you can, because gyms would probably be open by then. But if you were trying to hit it beforehand, I would try and exercise on your way to work by either biking there, walking there if it's possible. If not, you would want to get a home gym set up and then work out before you go, I would say. Can't drink it all in one sitting. I really wouldn't recommend it hydration night. The thing about these is like, don't eat them alone. I know I said this before, but I really want to stress this. Don't have these as their own thing. They work by like tricking your mind into thinking that you're having them. Like if you just dip your finger in the chocolate sauce and taste it, you're going to be like, that's not chocolate, and you're going to ruin it forever. But so put it on the ice cream and so you'll be like, yeah, it's chocolate. Don't take it alone. Hey Momo, what's up? Good evening, male VTubers. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, and if parks have like, yeah, I'm so jealous of the place that have like equipment in the park. That's so cool. They don't here, but that is so sick. So when you're deep in the cut, bring these things out. And this isn't the only thing. I also highly recommend, and it's in this lineup, but once again, this bad boy right here, sugar-free maple syrup. This is insane. You can put this on so much. You know, you don't only put this on pancakes. You can put this on anything. It's still yummy maple syrup, and maple flavor is kind of like just a good sweetener in general, right? You can put this in your oatmeal. You can put this in tons of stuff, but it's 0 calorie. And in my opinion, it tastes almost exactly the same as regular syrup. I know that's sacrilege to anyone in Canada, but I know that's better syrup. Trust me, this is free. It's not 120 calories per serving, okay? It's 0. So bear with me here. You can even do something cool with this that I'm a fan of, which I actually learned this from a YouTube channel. So mix sugar-free syrup with, drum roll please, hot sauce. Hot sauce is the king of spices if you're trying to cut, because most hot sauces are 5 or 0 calories, but they add a lot of flavor. Mix the sugar-free maple syrup with the hot sauce. Try this out, especially like Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot. Mix Frank's Red Hot and sugar-free maple syrup and use it as like a sandwich dressing or like a sandwich dip. Trust me on that one. It's good for savory stuff too. It's a really good way to make a really like more bland food taste really good. That's a big one. Done made some polite enemies. I think so. Mountie is approaching the location. Yeah. It's supposed to make you feel much... So where are the calories? Wait, what do you mean? No, they don't have calories, they have flavor. It's like same thing with spices. Most spices don't have calories. They're just herbs and they don't really like, they just add flavor to things. But it's like a trick way to have a good dip, a yummy dip that is really good for sandwiches and stuff without having any calories at all. That's another good one. Other tricks. You have a sweet tooth and Halo Top is still too many calories. Sugar-free Jello. An entire bowl of this is like under 200 calories, and it's an entire bowl. We have ads coming up, but I'm not going to go to them because I'm going to end kind of soon, so we're just going to deal with them. Heading out for the day. Thanks for the advice. No problem, Janon. Thanks for hanging out. So here's the trick. Yeah, if you really think Halo Top's even too many calories, have sugar-free Jello. You just put a little almond milk in this and mix it in a bowl, and it's under 200 calories for the whole bowl, and it does taste like chocolate. So that's another really good one for cutting. Big fan of that. Did that earlier this week, actually. And then what else do I have here? Oh, yeah, for bagels and breads and toast, sugar-free jam. This is a good one. Like if you want to have like a breakfast, like toast or bagel, you can even go really insane. Pair this with the fiber bread or the fiber toast or fiber bagels. And then you have a lower calorie, high fiber, no sugar, 0 calorie jam. I think these taste really good. This is a great way to get big volume food in without having a lot of calories. You should try all of these. They're all great, honestly. Yeah, companies will cheat serving sizes. Just be aware of the label. You know, be aware of the label serving size. And get a food measure for God's sakes. And then another one here, just the final general one. Zosk, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Get your your 0 calorie drinks, yo. Have these bad boys. Look at these. Ah. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's after the follow. I can't scream yet. I saw it ahead of time. I should stop looking. There it is. I should stop looking at that. Have your 0 calorie drinks. Look at these. Look at these. Have them. If you're really hungry and you're having trouble losing weight, have these. Have these instead. Please, 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 please. These are incredible. In fact, there's one study, and this is crazy, but I get how it works. There's one study that showed these were actually better than fat loss than water. Reason why is not because these are better than fat loss than water, but because these trick your brain into thinking that you're having calories, and so you tend to eat less. So I wouldn't say replace water with these. All I'm saying is these are very effective in tricking your brain into thinking you're having calories when you're not. And therefore you'll tend to eat less at other meals, especially if you have them with a meal or something like that, right? Liquids are volume, especially a 0 calorie one. So yeah, have these too. Many ways, many tricks. But those are a couple things I wanted to go through today because I was like, this is going to be helpful going into the holidays. Better get that out of the way. European labels will have nutrients scaled to 100 grams or 100 milliliters. You probably have to do some math. Yeah. As one who drinks pop daily, switching to 0 sugar was a life changer. Well, there's a lot of people where all they need is to switch to a 0 sugar thing. Like a lot of people eat really close to maintenance. That's why the world isn't becoming 900 pounds. It's because most people live pretty close to their maintenance calories and just might be a little over here and there. So there's plenty of people where if you just cut out sugar sodas from their diet, they lose weight and they're good forever. That's all it takes, right? So yeah, get used to that. And then you'll also find that when you stop having so much sugar, your body will stop craving as much sugar. And so things that are even super full with sugar and sweet might even taste like bad to you. You'll be like, oh wow, this is way too much sugar, right? That'll happen. Kind of like how people stop enjoying sugar as much when they get older. That sort of thing could happen. So anyways, are you familiar with Japanese labels? Yeah. I've looked at them a bunch when I was in Japan. I wasn't really counting calories when I was in Japan though. Hey, Azuriel, thanks for the follow. So like when I was backpacking, I wasn't counting calories because I was losing weight like crazy regardless. So I just ate whatever. But I think that they use per 100 grams. I'm pretty sure. I think they use per 100 grams on a lot of their labels. Yeah. I switched to 0 Coke over regular and I went from 365 to 285 in 1 year. Yep. Perfect example. Perfect example. Sometimes that's all people need. I don't. I need to watch my calories because I'm not that easy. I'll become a monster that eats 6,000 calories a day if I don't count. So very impressive though. Honestly, big congratulations. That is a huge loss. That's a huge loss. That's like a person. So awesome job on that, young one. Awesome job on that. All right. I think that's all I have to say today. A very intense yapping session. My voice is shot and we're going to do it all again in 5 hours. When I'm on Almantis's channel tonight to talk about fitness and aging. So if you're getting older and you want to know how to keep things going into old age, feel free to drop by that tonight over on Almantis's channel. Let me give a shout out to him so you can follow and stuff. Almantis, I believe, is where we want to be. Yes, right there. So I will be there in about 5 hours or so from now talking to him, but I will not be live. We're going to find someone to raid into. Thanks for coming by, everyone. It was a good just chatting, good fitness stream. And don't forget, tomorrow, normal time, we're going to be doing our ultimate holiday food tier list. I have strong opinions, and we're going to be talking about all the holiday foods from every holiday, not just Christmas and Thanksgiving, and where they rank on an ultimate tier list. So I'll see you tomorrow at noon EST for that one, and tonight on Almantis's channel. Let's go find someone to raid into. Stick around for the raid because we like bringing a big party over to people. Let's see who is on. It's exciting to get to like raid new people now as we go here. Let's see. Oh, I don't think. Let's go to. Oh, let's raid one of the Mythos people. We haven't raided anyone in Mythos yet. Apollo's on. What's it? Yeah, did Apollo just start? Apollo's like 2 hours in. Yeah, let's raid Apollo. Let's do that. Raid Apollo Mythos. I haven't read any Mythos people yet. Agency to agency communication. Let's get it. All right, we're going over to Apollo. Thanks for coming by, everyone. Let's get out of here. Have a good rest of the day. Get your protein. I'm heading to the ending screen, and I will see you tonight or tomorrow. Have a good one.